make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick and tired with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick and tired with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind, coming to you live 250 miles above your imagination in the International Fake Station. We got my good friend Something Wong is back here with us tonight, making sure that we have good moods. He's always smiling, doesn't say a whole lot. We can sometimes hear him back there making noise and stuff, but he's all in all a good guy, and he makes sure that we are going to follow the party line and brainwash people into thinking for themselves. So with that being said, how is everyone tonight? It looks like I've got a lot of good people. I've got Nikki Duncan in here, Lazarus. There's Jehovah's lovely daughter, Barbara. I see her. Tony Coriolis. Who else do we got here? Jonathan Pernice, Nikki Duncan, Chicago Cubby Bear. Been coming here quite a while. Some of these names I'm very familiar. They're always here. There's Saddle Bum. There's a good one. Always here. David Young is with us tonight. Keelan Prudholm. How are you tonight? Keelan. Am I saying that right, Keelan? That's an interesting name. Don. Let's see. Ashley is with us here too. Psyop within a psyop. I'm just kind of going through In Rem. I know In Rem was in here. Like, what was the thing that was like? I don't know how y'all do it. Roger Ledwell, how are you tonight? I don't know how some of y'all do it, man. It's like my video won't list until after I click on meant for kids. Okay. And this is even after I've uploaded it. It won't list, not even for me. And so I have to go into studio and click that. And I swear to God, no sooner does that thing go, because the next thing I do immediately is go in and pin the link to come on to the stream. And lo and behold, I go over there to do it, and boom, boom, boom. There's already 2 people in the chat, and I'm like, how in the hell? I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that's amazing. That is amazing. So we're just gonna spitball it here tonight. There's kind of some strange things that I've been observing, some ideas I've come up with, like what these controllers are, what they may have planned, what I'm watching happening that is such a contrast to where we were at just a few years ago. A few years ago, a lot of us were getting censored like crazy for, well, flat earth and anything to do with the Holocaust of the last 4 years. And YouTube, Facebook, and every other social media platform in existence was putting the smackdown. And now everywhere I look, there's these videos, comments, and posts freely circulating around regarding the very things that got us banned back just a couple years ago, just even last year, as truth starts to emerge. And it's like, this isn't news. We tried to warn you and you tried to shut us up. Now you're acting like, oh, oops, look what we didn't know was going to happen. And I'm like, oh my God, we tried to tell you. And the first thing you did was shut everybody up. You wouldn't even consider the fucking, because of who it is. The sponsors. Who are the sponsors? The pharmacia industry. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the pharmacia industry with their big, vast pockets. Right? Just throwing all the money they can out there at this. You know, I mean, we'll cut our advertising dollar if you besmirch us in any way. And how in the fuck is a news agency ever going to, I mean, as if there were such a real thing, but how would a news agency be able to report negatively on their biggest sponsor? You see, it's always with the golden handcuffs. It's always with the golden handcuffs. It comes down to that. I mean, shekels. How many shekels can I get? I'll sell out anybody. Who said that recently? Joe Rogan said that he would sell out his own mother. So we're seeing that. I noticed, oh my God, there was a modern day debate. Had a debate going on. I don't know. It might still be. Don't care. I noticed it was MC Toon was debating some guy I've never fucking heard of about the validity of the moon landings from 1969 to 1972. And I looked and it had like 120 people watching. And I'm like, what? There's only 120 people watching? Why? It's McToon, right? So I'm seeing that these guys are losing fucking relevance. They're becoming irrelevant. Nobody cares anymore. It's really crazy too, because it happened like a 100th monkey effect. It seems like every one of us has just gone, you know, they've been weighed, measured. Fuck them. We're done. We're not, I don't even care about them anymore. Because this has grown so much, 770% since 2015. That's amazing. 9 years. Now it comes out to the point where somebody go outside, you can be talking about flat earth, and the chances of you running into somebody is very high that agrees with you. I think Austin Thompson from the Melodome, he was on his show earlier tonight talking about how he was filming a sun with his solar filter, and he ran into a couple, an elderly couple. I would imagine that means people about the same age as me and my wife. But anyway, you know, they come back up to him and says, you know, they started talking, and I guess this guy was feeling Austin out. And, you know, not literally, you know what I'm saying, to see where he stood with the whole flat earth thing. And then come to find out, these two people, the man and woman, were flat earthers. I mean, this is all over the place. I'm seeing posts by people that say, I was at such and such, and I ran into 3 flat earthers today, you know, or I ran into a whole bunch of people, you know. So this is it's growing exponentially. And as it does, the mockery toward this belief system of helio nonsense is just going out the window. It's so crazy. I'm looking at the ratios of shit, like when NASA puts a post on Facebook, right? Go in there and you can click on the reactions, and it'll list how many of all the reactions were each kind. And you ought to see the number of laughy emojis and how high that's grown. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. We had our friend, there's Mojo, you're late. No longer on the ball. Ashley, got some people popping in here. Good enough. But this is what's happening, is because now they've exhausted every logical refutation or argument in favor of their nonsense. People are pinning them down on the scientific impossibilities of this entire hypothesis, and they just can't hang. So consequently, they're melting down. They really are. I looked, and Craig from FTFE, he's got, how many subscribers that guy got, right? He's got a really high subscriber base, you know, and he put out a video earlier, and I looked, and here it is several hours later, and he's only got 2.4 thousand views on it. And if you put that with the ratio of what his subscriber count supposedly is, I mean, that's all you could muster to watch your video out of all your subscribers and shit. See, the thing is, people are tired of their fucking ass. They're seeing them for what they are. They've been shown, I'll tell you, and great shout out to Witsit and many others of us out there that have pinned these bastards down and exposed their intellectual dishonesty, thereby making it possible for us to just shit can them all as irrelevant. Isn't this cool? This is really badass. We don't have to entertain their likes at all. Very soon, we're going to be the majority because more and more people are waking up to this and they're realizing the impossibilities of it, especially when we take people like us, you know, go out and explain it in ways that people can truly understand, put it into real life scenarios so that people can actually understand what is going on, you know, instead of this nonsense that's been pasted into their head by academics who had the very same thing pasted in their head the same way. No actual evaluation of the very basic impossibilities to the hypothesis. It's insane. It's insane that people could have been hypnotized for so long to be that gullible and ignorant. And now we're coming to this awakening where people are coming to truths about everything. They're coming to truths about everything. And it's sort of like they're throwing up their hands. It's, you know, the censorship's not working. Despite their efforts, people are coming to the truth and there's nothing they can do about it. Not a fucking thing. I mean, it's sort of like I sit back sometimes and I just be thinking. When I got some time, I sit there and I think. And I even look at like, okay, what are these clowns getting ready to do next? If you'll also notice, the amount of space propaganda that they're pushing is recently, I mean, with, you know, multiple SpaceX launches every fucking month and all this shit, and you're seeing SpaceX stuff and all this other crap, okay, you're seeing an increase in that shit as flat Earth increases. They're really trying to buckle down. And so consequently, they post out something, I watch it on Facebook or something, they post out something, and of course it gets reactions. And I'll look at the different reactions, how many, what the percentage of each type of reaction is. And when I see it being laughy emojis, that tells me a lot because those are promoted by the platform. Okay. They're made to be seen public for everyone. They're pushed into the feed, yet the reactions to it are like, yeah, right. Sure, Pucko, right. It's fucking insane. So their fake alien invasion is not going to work. I don't think it's going to work like they expect it to. They've been conditioning us with this fake space and aliens and shit now for about 70 years, really, ever since the Antarctic Treaty, ever since Operation High Jump. They said, oh, we're going to stop looking out. We're going to start looking up here. And so all your Hollywood B science fiction movies all the way up to today, depicting people floating in space and propelling themselves and navigating some way in a void that's supposedly a vacuum, which is impossible without a container, and there's no such thing as a truth. We're not even going to get into that. That's all. We can, though. We can, though. You know why? Because science is on our side when we make those claims. That's absolutely true. So that's where we're at. So I was like wargaming. What I was starting to say is I start wargaming shit. And incidentally, my StreamYard link should be pinned up at the top of the chat. If it's not, somebody let me know. Yeah, there, it's up there. If anybody wants to come on, whatever you got going on, let me know. But anyway, I was looking at this thing, and so often I see this shit about, oh, Donald Trump did this and Joe Biden did that. But I'm not seeing the type of campaign stuff that I've seen over the last many years of my life. Usually they're in full swing right now. They're really getting going. In fact, I think it's April is when they kick it off every 4 years with their Iowa caucus or whatever the shit they do, right? So I'm not seeing that. And I'm thinking to myself, all this stuff where they're putting out with that Trump has got all this support and shit, and he's got his little quips and all that. And Biden it's obvious everywhere he goes, people are, chanting, or at least they want us to think they are chanting, fuck Joe Biden and all this other. And there's no way this guy could win. There's no way this guy could win. Well, that's what everybody said 4 years ago, right? They said, there's no way Biden could win. Yet, he got over 81 million votes. Despite the support, the lack of support, he got 81 million votes. Okay, so where am I going with this? Did they cheat? My humble opinion is that fucking A right they did. Okay. Did they hack in to the voting machines and do that? In my opinion, yes, I believe that they did. Okay. I mean, it's pretty fucking obvious. So here we embark on this next thing, and it's going to be November. Look, man, we're halfway through the year already, man. I can't believe we're coming up. The solstice is just upon us, man. We're almost halfway through the year already, right? So here in November is supposed to be when we have this next election, despite there being a lack of real campaigning or anything else like that going on. And everybody's pretty convinced that old Donnie Boy is going to take it and everything. And judging by what you see, you would think that were so. And even if it were so, have they done anything about those machines? Mm-mm. Will the sheeple go back to those machines and do it all again? Yep. So you know what else I think they might do? I think they might go ahead and put Biden in anyways. Would that not kick off the civil war that they're looking for? I think it would. I really do. I was surprised that the last one didn't. I really was. I was surprised that the last one didn't. But people are. I mean, here's the thing. Do you guys know what a herd of sheeple sound like? They go, Google, 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 Google. Only a whole bunch of them all doing that. That's what they do. But I'm never gonna get this fucking cigarette lit. Oh, Sav did some pressure experiments before the show. That's absolute. We'll probably have to do another. It's almost time for another pressure experiment. Here, real quick. But anyway, I mean, what do y'all think about that type of scenario? They just, despite how badly they've made it look like Joe Biden has done, the economy's in a shambles. They've really set this thing up so that Trump could come in like the big hero. And there's a lot of people just so fucking cocksure confident that that's exactly what's going to happen. There's no possible way Joe Biden could win. When did we hear that before? Right? And what do you think would happen if they do, which I'm sure that they probably will try to, if not succeed, if they do throw in the cheat like that again? What do you think will happen? Will people just go fuck it? Will they go with my idea of a collective fuck off? We're not doing this anymore? Or will they break into war? And how would that be? How do you draw the lines? How do you have, that would be just melee. That would just be like melee. I don't know how that would cut, but I don't know. That's just something. That's how my head works. I sit there and I look at, okay, this is how this is playing out. This is not outside of the realm of possibility. Let's see what happens, right? I ain't worried about it one way or the other. I already know how this fucking thing works. And that shit's irrelevant. It is. It really is irrelevant. It don't make a fucking difference if Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or Jojo the fucking chimp becomes president of the United States. It don't fucking matter, man. It really doesn't, because they're not doing it. It's somebody else. The group, they, maybe someplace in a dark building somewhere. On the very top floor, there's a long corridor. And at the end of that corridor is one of those old wooden office doors with the frosted glass window in it. And stenciled on that door says they. And when you open it up, there's a big long table. It's dimly lit. And there's a bunch of those green desk lamps all the way around it. And these beings with no faces sitting in suits. And that is they. That's a good painted picture for you, isn't it? But I mean, what I was saying about these guys, these detractors, these ones that are really trying to push the propaganda, it's come to a point where they're just trying to polish a turd. That's basically what they're doing. They're just trying to polish a turd. And like my friend Lucky Haskins says, man, he says, when it comes right straight down to it, the only thing they really have is pseudoscience and mockery, fake space and mockery, And I don't even know why there's even a word called pseudoscience. That's almost to me like, I guess it's a way you can describe, something that sounds like it's science, but to the non-discerning mind, or to the ignorant. But it's to me like, dehydrated water. Science is, a quest for truth, a way to derive to a truth. And, people are treating it like it's a fucking entity, who trust science. What? You mean trust science? Trust the science. Well, show me the science. We can't. There is none. It's like, well, then why did you say that? You mean to say, and then it's always to the appeal to authority. You mean to tell me that millions of astronomers around the world, and I'm like, did you do a census of astronomers that are, I mean, what the fuck? Where do you get this? Name me one that you know personally. I'll accept that. But millions? Thousands and thousands of physicists. And how many? Thousands and thousands? Do you have a sample data for that? Because I'm using physics, and I'm finding that you're trying to use shit that is physically impossible. Like telling me that somehow, for whatever fucking reason, I don't know, but some reason hydrogen gas, decided to, instead of having elastic collisions, they just changed their mind one day and stuck together and became some giant contiguous mass of hydrogen, and then somehow developed gravity. Do you see the problem with this? I really do. I hope people can see the problem with this right from the get-go. Because a lot of people, they don't. They don't ever see the problem from the get-go because they've never thought to think about that. They just take it for granted. Well, I don't know what the sun is, and these guys are, smarter than me, and they figured it out. Well, no, they didn't. They just made some shit up. You believed it because of what you think about them. That's all. Real simple. Real simple. You'll believe shit more. A lot of people believe shit more based on what they think about the guy that gave them the information. McToon comes off like he is an arrogant, know-it-all, and to his ignoramus followers, same thing with FTFE, they believe that is. So, that's the worrisome thing, is that McToon is smarter than most of his audience. What's that telling me about the audience? Not real good. PF science. How do you pronounce that, Jonathan? I like it, though. It's crazy. I mean, next they're really going to probably take my made-up word of refractogravillax and use it to explain some shit. I mean, I've been in a discussion here with this. If y'all remember Martin, who came on here, I've been in a discussion with that character, and he's still. I told him, I said, look, all I have to do to change acceleration is change the medium. That's all I have to do. With your supposed downward acceleration, all I have to do to change that is change the medium. That, of course, makes the medium the independent variable, correct? Yes. All right. So we're all on the same page with that. So even after, uselessly, because I was just sending him on a goose chase, I told him, I said, I want to know how far you could fire a 62 grain, 5.56 millimeter projectile, okay, by 54 projectile, underwater, fired at a shoulder height or 5 feet elevation in a horizontal direction. How far will that bullet go? He says, okay, I'll be back with you with that calculation. So about 30 hours later, in multiple excuses, he finally came up with an answer, and he said it was 14 feet. So I told him, I says, cool. He says, well, what's that supposed to prove? And I said, well, really, hopefully it proved to you that by changing the medium, I screwed up all of your predictions and you had to recalibrate everything, didn't you? And I says, but in all reality, I just was always wondering how far one would go. So thanks. You wasted really a lot of time. I could have just told you that, changing the medium, but you had to actually see that for yourself. And he's still hanging on to it. These people claiming that gravity, which is, of course, never been proven, somehow has an effect on gas. Yet no one can ever demonstrate. The first time, as soon as you mention that, they say, we have a gradient. And what's the antecedent of the gradient? Pressure. Right. So can you have a gas pressure without containment? Gradient. It's because of gravity. You can't demonstrate gravity affecting gas. It will never affect gas just because of the nature of gas. Even if you make a model where you can add lots of gravity, what is that based on? What is that even based on? That little slider that Craig showed. You see, and of course, I laughed. Everyone laughed. These people don't realize it. And they're losing their fucking mind. There's Brian Stavely in the house. COVID makes the atmosphere stick to the earth. It does. It was just found out. Leading experts agree, Brian. That's what they said. And there's Greg Brayton's in here. He says, shit, I still can't spiel. I love it, though, Saab. Refractogravillax. It's refractogravillax. Come on now. You stupid flurf. I'm fucking with you. Yeah, that's leading experts agree that COVID makes the atmosphere stick to the earth. You're right. So, so the thing is that air doesn't stick to anything. Okay, stop. That's dumb. Okay. So I was in this discussion, this other guy, he couldn't wrap it through his head. And he says, well, there has to be a force. And I said, okay. So where I'm sitting right now, not moving, my very presence is forcing the air to not be where I am. So what is forcing the air to not be where I am. It's displacement. Oh, it's not. Oh, well, what is it? He was trying to go around the barn saying it was because because gravity's holding you to the ground and blah, blah, blah. I said, no. 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 Doesn't work like that, man. Doesn't work like that. So he couldn't wrap his head around it. And what I tried to get him to understand is that there is never any time that something is not subject to a medium. There is no case in which an object is not surrounded by some medium. So we can build from that. Okay? Get this dumbass idea of vacuums out of the brain, because a vacuum, which is only really a very low pressure, because no true vacuum actually exists. And of course, if there is pressure, that means there is a medium. And even with very low pressure, there is a medium. Okay? Otherwise, what? Yeah. So everything is always subject to a medium. And of course, if it weighs more than the medium that it displaces, then it will drop. If it weighs less than the medium it displaces, it will rise. If it weighs the same as the medium displaced, it will remain inert, because everything wants to equalize relative density. Everything, hot to cold. Everything wants to fucking equalize, okay, to a place of ambience. And it's a constant struggle. It's a constant struggle. It never can be fully achieved. Okay? So this is how our dynamic system works. People aren't exactly, David. How come they can't figure this simple fact out? It's because they've complicated everything and replaced common sense and experimentation with complicated formulas and hypothesis of fucking unicorns and dragon's breath, That's why. It's real simple. Volume equals mass divided by density. Weight is supposedly, well, there again, okay, so let's take weight, right? Weight is mass times acceleration. If I change the medium, I've changed the acceleration, therefore I've changed the weight, right? And what exactly is the weight? The weight is a quantification we use to measure the relative density of an object within a given medium. In most cases, the air. That's how that works. It's sorcery, I'm telling you. I was hypnotized to it for like 35 years. It is. It really is. It really is like sorcery. It's amazing. It's amazing. And when you come to it and you see it, it's like one of those things. This is why when people say, well, prove to me that the earth is flat. I'm like, no. I'm going to show you why it can't be what you think it is. And I'm going to let you prove to yourself that it's flat. Okay? Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And the beauty of it is, once you see it, you go, oh my God. How could they convince so many people of that lie? What the fuck else have they lied to me about? Lord mercy. You see where that goes to? And what do you find out? Most of my people in here, they know. Brian knows. Then you hit them up with that freaking Mandela effect. Oh, they can't understand that one. This is the one thing, though, that I realize with these people, and I hesitate to call a lot of them people. When they are led to the obvious conclusion that our atmos is contained by a physical barrier, that there's no way of getting around it, it's not gravity, because gravity doesn't do anything to gases. That's stupid. Okay. When they've been led and shown that, one of the things that they panic almost and go, what? We're trapped? I think to myself, trapped? What do you mean? Where the fuck would you go? How would you navigate? How would you, what the fuck? Is there some place that you want to go? I mean, we live on this. This place is pretty fucking big, man. Pretty big. There's a lot of places here that haven't really been explored even. And you're worried about not being able to get away from it? Why? What's up? Almost sounds like the panic that demons would have. As demons are said to be the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim who have no place on earth or in heaven. Is that why they want to bust through the dome? Is this why they want to bust through the firmament into heaven? Is it? I wonder. It's a lot to think about. It's definitely a lot to think about. So I was going to look here. It seemed like I saw something silly come up here just a few minutes ago. The Chinese astronauts performed a record-breaking spacewalk. Ruh-roh, Scooby. They forgot to add the curvature of the Earth again, I think. Hang on. Oh, they're always trying to get me to sign up. I'm already signed up for enough shit, man. All right, wait a second. Let me pull this up. Oh, I'm in the wrong fucking place. Here I go. Yeah, time for another pressure test, that's for sure. There it is. So it says 2 Chinese astronauts just set a new spacewalking record for the country. Yi Gangfu and Li Guangsu. Do you know them some? You do? He says that's his cousins. Awesome, dude. All right. 2 members of China's 3-person Shenzhou 18 mission spent about 8.5 hours working outside the Tiangong space station. I'm worriedly very good at saying those words. Could I be? Maybe I be Chinese. I am Chinese. You never know. You American fuck. I do big poo on you. That's longer than any previous Chinese spacewalk or extravehicular activity, or EVA, as they say in the trade. According to the nation's state-run Xinhua news service. Look at, there's another thing. There's 1,000 days in space. Wow, they hit a milestone. What is this big curvy? Why are these things so bent and curved? Look like they got their curve in the wrong fucking spot, dude. They're going to fire the guy at the Chinese Space Agency, dude. Chinese astronauts conduct the Shenzhou 18 mission's first spacewalk on May 28th. That was today. They was up there. I looked up. I thought I saw him. I thought I did, but I was just high. So, Yi and Li. I like that. Yi and Li in company live together in perfect completed the installation of the space station's space debris protection device. Oh, it's a space debris protection device. Okay. Looks like a flat earth, though. Space junk is a genuine worry for space officials, Chinese space officials. Tiangong suffered a partial power loss recently after a debris strike on its solar arrays, for example. How come we don't ever get hit by any solar debris? The ISS never gets hit up there. Or no, they did that one time, and the guy, what did he do? He put a piece of gum in front of it, or duct tape, or some shit like that. Flexsteel. I don't know. He did some kind of shit like that. And it supposedly worked. It was just fine. You can have that pressure inside there next to the lack of pressure outside it. No problem. Tape will hold that as long as it's nominal. So he says today's EVA was the first for Li and the second for Yi, who also stepped outside Tiangong during the Shenzhou 13 mission in December 2021. The third member of the Shenzhou 18 mission, Li Kang, assisted the EVA from inside Tiangong, monitoring the spacewalkers and their activities. Look at there. The spacewalkers and space debris protection gear outside the Tiangong space station, among other tasks. What's he actually doing? Was it like a laser gun that you shoot, or is it a shoot? This was the first EVA for this. Tell us about the fucking thing. China's previous crewed flight Shenzhou 17 performed 2 space. I don't care. I want to know more about this space debris and shit. What's going on? Show us the space debris shield. You probably can't. It's probably top secret. It's probably invisible stealth technology. Listen, if you want some good laughs to show up in your notifications, man, just go ahead and subscribe to space.com. And it's funny as hell. It's funny as hell. This whole thing. So you space exploration, some of the shit that they tell you, launches in spacecraft, the moon. See, look at all this. On this day in space, May 28th, 1959, Abel and Baker are the first monkeys to survive space flight. So that's kind of fucking cruel, really, putting animals in some shit like that and sending them up in the air. That's, I mean, do they even know how to fly? Well, maybe from the Wizard of Oz, those ones did. SpaceX to launch, of course, they're always launching Starlink. And pretty soon you won't be able to see the sky because there's going to be so many Starlinks in the sky that we won't even be able to see Uranus. Let me get that out of there. That's what I was after. So what do we got? Let me see what's happening in the chat. I popped the blue balls of space cadets. There you go. I like it. I like it. Listen, I'll tell you what. I've had some pretty desperate globe trolls. I've shut them down. Shut them right the fuck down. It's so funny to watch them scream and retch. And what the funniest way to do it is when you just don't get mad and just state your case. And then when they, try to refute it, you just restate your case. And they just can't handle it. Hold on 1 second. I think I've got. No. Anyway, I'm going to pop over here real quick to this. I didn't plan on doing a long stream tonight. Just kind of get up here and say howdy to everybody, talk about a few things. Somewhere I'm hearing rumors of we'll be at war like by the middle of the summer or something like that. They're already predicting that. And I don't know, is it just more fear porn? I mean, when are we never not at war, right? When are we never not at war? That's all we do. That's all we do. I mean, it's what America's built on. Even our national anthem is you know, bombs blowing up and shit. And it's about war. A little predatory bird. I mean, it's really sick. Really sick. I've been doing, of course, with Memorial Day. I always think about all that, you know. And it just kind of blows my mind that people haven't seen this sooner. You know, how do you not see this sooner? Oh yeah, we should all mask up. Fear and war is needed to keep the people in slavery. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of positive steps being taken by people. More and more people are taking their kids out of school, doing what they can, and even sacrificing so that they can homeschool their kids. That's wonderful. Because I'll tell you what, that school is nothing more than a propaganda indoctrination station. That's all the fuck it is. And consequently, there's a lot of teachers that are quitting. They're quitting. They're like, I'm not dealing with this. All this political correctness and all this other bullshit that you're trying to force us to do. I'm not doing it anymore. But unfortunately, what's that going to leave? More of what's there now that's causing these teachers to quit. So my idea is abolish public education. I mean, is there any more clear way to fuck something up than to let the government become involved? Myself, I can't think of one. I can't think of one at all. Oh, that's right. Something else that was on my mind. Oh my God. If you are not subscribed to or you don't watch high impact flicks, as he used to be called, he's got Here's the Deal. I saw such a disturbing story on there today, and I'm going to put the link to the video about it down here in the chat. But anyway, to tell you what had actually happened was oh wow, this is interesting. He just put one up about an hour ago called "Cop Called Out While Getting Award During Ceremony." Oh my God. Let me see, where in the world is that? I'll have to look in. All right, so I'm going to give you the link to his channel anyways, but I got to find this video, because what they did was they took this guy the guy wasn't all there, right? And apparently the guy's dad had gone out to get the mail with the dog, and the dog came back. The dad didn't. The kid, or young man, called the police and reported his father missing, right? So I'm like, okay, they ended up arresting this kid and trying to convince him that he had murdered his dad and that his dad was laying dead on a slab and he's the prime suspect. They even wanting him to confess to this. 17 hours they subjected this fucking kid to this behavior. Told him they were going to have to take his dog and kill it because the dog had been traumatized from seeing him kill his father. What else? Yeah, and then the guy had to actually go, and the cops had taken the guy's dog to a pound somewhere and wouldn't tell him where it was. They tried to lock him up in an insane asylum with instructions that he's not to have any communication with anybody outside. I mean, this is reprehensible, and the beauty of it is that Brian put a link to that police department's Facebook page on there, and I went to that Facebook page, and oh my God, the comments on there on their Memorial Day post, ooh, not good, not good. They tried to get this guy to confess to a capital crime, And his dad had not been harmed. His dad was fine. And they tried to say that to get this kid to confess to a capital crime. I believe that those officers need to get the maximum punishment that kid would have gotten if he had confessed to it and found guilty. They need to get that, and they also need to be prosecuted under USC 241 and 242, conspiracy to deprive rights under color of law, and deprivation of rights under color of law. It was egregious, and I'm going to find the video right now and find it for you. Let me see. Unless it got took down. I don't think so. That's not the one. No, it had to be. Where in the world is it? Okay, I watched that, right? Oh, they might have took it down. They might have took it down. Let me just double check here. Because I didn't see it on his Here's the Deal channel. Let me just cop fired immediately. No. Because I know my wife was here and I watched it with her. And it was just disturbing as all hell. I couldn't believe it. I just really could not believe it. Let me look again here. See, does he have his other channels listed on here as well? Let me see. All right, so he's got High Impact Flicks. That's his website. Here's the deal. He's on Twitter, Facebook. Dude, this is not cool at all. Now let me see. Did he do that as a live or as a video? Let me see. Just lives. Let me just look at his lives real quick because I might have seen a. Oh yes. Okay. Okay. Cool. I found it. Oh boogers. Okay. So this video right here. I'm gonna put it down here, and I'll let y'all go. It's a 40-minute video. Y'all go ahead and watch. I'm not going to replay it here, but I'm going to give you the Facebook link. The Facebook link to the page for the Fontana. It's Fontana is the place. Just a second. All right, there you go. So that's their Facebook page. Let me go over here on this chat. There's nobody over here. 11 people. I'll put it over here anyways. Let me paste it over here too. But this is really something. Okay. So they did a Memorial Day post, right? Oh no, what'd they do? They turn off comments? They did. They turned off comments. They have turned off comments. Because everybody was slamming this this outfit. They really were. They really were. And now they've turned off the comments. Wait. Let me get into the comment section here. I got it. Okay, cool. I was wrong. They didn't turn off the comments. It just showed up different on here than it did on my phone. All right, so I'm going to just show you this. They did a Memorial Day thing, right? And this is amazing. Anyway, there's my comment. I said those pigs need to receive the same maximum punishment that the capital crime they suggested would carry. They should also be subject to prosecution under USC 241 and 242 for conspiracy to deprive rights under color of law and deprivation of rights under color of law. These shameful animals should rot in the worst prison. This guy says here, these officers need jail time. Vile, torturous, corrupt humans. Still torturing innocent people.
What is this? They need to be in a box 6 feet down, somebody said. Another guy agrees. This is really bad, man. You're going to hashtag community strong while you torture those individuals in the community. Bold move. You have shown your true face and people have already committed it to memory. I'm like, man, this is just, there's no love for these fucking guys. Dirty, disgusting police interrogators. This is how innocent people end up with life sentences because of interviews like this. They should all be fired and arrested for torturing this poor, vulnerable citizen. Welcome to America 2024. It reminds me of North Korea. Don't worry about civil rights, just torture and get a false confession. Totally disgusting. And man, I don't even know how to go. I mean, so like I said, go over to Brian Young's channel. Go over to the title of it. The video is WTF. You won't even believe what cops just did to this poor guy. And I was floored. I was. And I mean, I can't even believe that actual sworn. I mean, I know cops can be bad. I know that they can be really, really bad, but what would be the motive behind taking someone who, I don't know if the guy's got like autism or what is wrong with him, but he has to have medication, shit like that, right? So what would make someone want to take a person like that and force them to, and gaslight them to confess to something that never even occurred? What the fuck kind of, doesn't there some kind of like psychological screening? I would like to know what the parameters of that psychological screening is for someone to become one of these fucking yahoos in a costume. I certainly would. I certainly would. Golly. So our good friend Martin, anyway, the guy that with the he rage quit off of this show one time, but he's on the Facebook there. He's one of those where they keep postulating these insane, impossible conditions. The guy told me, he says, well, gas behaves differently in space. I said, why would it behave differently in space? I says, prove that gas would behave differently in space. Well, there you go. And this is what they do when you ask them to prove their ridiculousness. Richard Feynman says science doesn't prove things. Well, I don't give a fuck what Richard Feynman says. Okay? He's not the god of shit. Okay? Nobody gives a flying rat's ass what Richard Feynman says. No one cares. Okay? You said something that goes against observable, testable reality. Now, that requires fucking proof. Okay? So stop using that as a crutch. I got really pissed off about that. But I mean, I'm like, dude, stop with that. I don't care what someone else said. Why do they do that? Why do they do that? I don't care what someone else said. I'm saying this. God, that's how in the tank they are with their perception deception. You understand? That's how far in the tank they are. It doesn't matter if it's a reality or not. It depends on what somebody says that you have a high opinion of. The fuck? It's not fair. It's not fair. You know what? We've been trapped here on the biggest goddamn special ed bus that there is, with a bunch of goddamn morons at the wheel. That's basically where we're at in this day and age. That's where we're at right now. We're in this giant fucking short bus. There's an oxymoron, huh? Giant short bus. Oh my God, what is this? Oh, criminy. There's Greg. What's happening, brother?
Dude, you guys don't know. Okay, for the last month, I'm serious. But I'm here at Echo. Sorry, I'm sorry.
You're right.
For the last month, I have been going through hell every single fucking day. So I've been divorced for.
Hey man, hold up. Fix your camera, man. It's like you're just looking up at your sky, at your ceiling.
Sorry, I'm just. This is where I've been in my
All right.
mind.
Unload, brother. Unload.
So I've been divorced for the last 5 years. That's actually 4 years going on to 5 years, whatever. And I've had an amazing relationship with my kids for the last 5 years.
Mhm.
And every time we've met with. I've made sure to have other people there with our meetings, and just it's been great. We've painted pictures, we've done stuff. And my kids have texted me openly and everything like that. It's just.
Right.
And then I remember a while ago, I mentioned to some of your people that one of my girls came out to me as trans, which was very difficult for me to understand. And I remember talking through some of the people, and there's just be there for her, just be accepting. Maybe she's only freaking 15 years old, so maybe it's just a phase or whatever.
Well, it's the popular thing to do.
I know,
People
yeah, it's like a trendy thing to do.
What it is,
hey,
is
let's pop
people
on
that
trend.
are doing that are getting attention. They get attention.
And then my youngest,
preferential treatment too.
My youngest, who is 13, she, within the last month, she came out to me as bi. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to do with this, but I accept you and I love you. That's
How
all I
old?
can. That's
Well,
13.
13? No, you're not anything. Okay,
I'm-
you're not anything. You're not heterosexual. You're not bisexual.
I know.
You're not any sexual at all until you become an adult. You got that?
But okay, so what you need to know about them is that they're part of this independent fundamental Baptist church. They're the ones who believe that the King James Version is the only legal version of the Bible. They're forced to go to this church every single freaking Sunday.
Then how can they reconcile the Bible saying that it's a vulgarity?
They can't. Believe me, you can't bring that stuff up to them because they'll be like, they'll have an answer for it.
So
I'm talking to my kids. I'm talking to my kids.
Yeah,
my kids don't understand this.
It can't be a cafeteria. Listen, a religion is not like a cafeteria. Okay? You don't get to just go in there and pick and choose the parts you like and discard the ones that you don't.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. They don't understand that because their parents, their new stepdad and their mom are wholly a part of this. Okay, so their kid's stuck in this. And so here I am just being like, okay, whatever happens in your life, I will be there for you. I'll accept you and I love you. And so I have one kid who comes out to me as trans. I have another kid who comes out to me as bisexual. And then 2 days later, I get a call from a sheriff's department saying that my youngest said that I did something to her sexually. Even though I never did. I never did this. It was 2 days after she texted me and said, hey, I'm bisexual, by the way. I was like, okay, I love you and accept you. Here I am. I'm being accused of something that I never did. And I would never do. I would never put anyone into this situation. And here I am, fending for my life for the last month. And so
I don't know what to tell you to do.
For the last month,
man.
dude, I've been I don't think that in today's modern society, I can put up with this. Because the dad has never believed. They're like, why wouldn't he do this? Because he's a sexual pervert.
Well, and in all fairness, yeah, there's going to be a stigma with that accusation, of course.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
But it has to come down to fundamental and tangible proofs. Okay, that's what it has to come down to. And even if something like that did happen, and there was no proof of it, that still, even though man's justice has not been able to take care of it, God's justice does, and it will.
You know, that's been the only saving grace. And I've been challenged to be like, God, or Greg, you know the truth. You know that God knows the truth. You know the truth. You know she knows the truth. Something is going on in the situation that's causing her to lie.
See if you can get polygraph test.
I already
polygraph
have.
test.
I did 5 years ago. After we got divorced, I did a polygraph test saying, hey, and the girls were interviewed and they saw everything and said, did your dad ever do anything to you? And they said no. And then I took polygraph tests too that proved that. But that was 5 years ago. So why is this shit coming out like 5 years later? And after we've had a great relationship, it doesn't make any sense to anyone who knows the situation. And I'm at my wit's end, and I want to kill myself. I truly do.
Well, that's not a good idea.
Because
You know that.
I'm not one to fight for myself. I'm not one to stir the pot, and I just rather get out of the way.
Well, you gotta fight for yourself, man. You do. You have to. Unfortunately, you're under attack. Okay, as it seems, and you can't just roll up in a fucking ball and let it attack. Okay,
I need this kind of support because
you know
that's what I
you
want to
never
do.
go down without a fight.
No.
Don't
So I got
curl up.
I did get
You
myself
can't do that.
attorney.
And so you just
I
well,
got myself attorney. He we showed up to the attorney's office. We did our interview on April 20. Gosh, I don't remember what the date was, but we showed him the text messages that I received from the 26th or 24th of April, and me and my daughter had great relationships. She's like, hey, can you come out to these things that I have events for? She's like doing wall climbing, and she's doing all these events from school. And she was like, hey, do you want to come and do these things? I was like, yeah, it'd be great. I mean, I'll just make them happen with your mom and stuff, and let's get them forward. And then 2 days later, getting a call from the Douglas County Sheriff Department saying, by the way, your daughter has said that these things happen to you. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
The fact that they haven't made an arrest tells us what?
I know exactly.
Okay.
You say that,
So
but every single day I feel like I'm going to kill myself.
I'm going to tell you.
Seriously, I'm going to fucking kill myself one of these days.
No. Listen here, dude. Just listen. What do we say to the police?
Fuck you.
No,
Talk to my lawyer.
I don't answer questions. I don't answer questions. Their job is to get you to say something that they can jump on. You understand?
Yeah.
So you don't talk to them without an attorney present.
Yeah.
Okay?
I did do that.
That's it.
And
now
I even had a cool detective.
Look, listen. The ball is in their court. If they could serve, they would. But so far, nothing. And as it stands, it's nothing more than an unbased allegation. Okay.
Yeah.
So just the law really actually is on your side in this. Okay. Because you don't have to answer questions with the police. Okay. There has to be tangible evidence.
True.
Okay. And if you still have a text message where you guys were just hunky dory, keep that. I would definitely keep that, screenshot it.
I
definitely keep that and say, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but there's obviously something going on at home because one of them's, they're both turning twisted into one wanting to be a homo and the other one wanting to turn into a guy. So there's some bullshit going on at home. They're there. I'm not influencing these kids. They're being influenced somewhere, and it's not by me.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to go over into the private chat. Okay, would you? Can you pull up the private chat?
I put a telephone number in there, and
Okay.
that's Jehovah's daughter Barbara wanted me to give you her telephone number,
Okay.
and she would like you to call her because I think it would do you good to talk to her as well.
Sure.
Because
got it.
that's just nonsense. You're not a quitter, dude.
No, I don't want
You're
to.
not a quitter. You know, that's why I quit going to AA. A bunch of goddamn quitters in there, man. No, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously. You know, you got to consider also that what's going on in the home, at their home. What's actually occurring there?
That's
what kind
exactly
of
what I'm
influences are happening?
Is
You know,
she being-
believe
is
it or
she being
not, Greg.
actually abused? Is she being coerced? Is she being fed stuff that, like, I knew my ex said that I was like a beast, or it's like I was angry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the kids didn't know, or 5 years ago, this youngin didn't know. So she could have fed onto lies that my
Yeah.
ex said. She's like, "Oh, do you remember your
Unfortunately,
dad was being so mean?"
so many people they talk shit about their ex in
Yeah.
front of the kids. Okay. And that you can't do that. That's just as bad as like when you're trying to you're together and you're disciplining a child, and your spouse does not ally herself with you, right? Or you know, you can't come to agreement. You can't show that in front of the children, even if it's so. You know, the wife or the husband not agree with the actions of the way the mom wants to deal with the situation. But you cannot do that in front of those kids.
I know.
They're very impressionable.
Yeah.
So something's occurring that's
I
obviously
she
very
didn't
weird
cheat
and
on
harm,
me.
because you know me, I'm not going to pretend that there's not some kind of psychological damage taking place that's going to make kids, and let's face it, they are their children, pubescent children at that, but still there's something has gone wonky in their brain to make them want to be that. Now, there's also this going on too, and I don't know how you'd be able to know it or not, but is your wife the type to try to glom on to popularity through her children? Like, in other words, there's these, you know, these beauty pageant moms, how they are. And lately there's like this thing, and you see it with Hollywood moms, where they gain popularity because they have a trans child.
No, she wouldn't be. She would not be one in her realm to want to do that.
Well, what's your idea on that?
So okay, so the IFB church, the Independent Fundamental Baptist Church, they're the ones who pop up on Yahoo once in a while and say like, "Hey, this crazy ass preacher says that parents of trans kids should be hung and shown in the town square for everyone to see."
Mhm.
That's the type of environment that they're in. And both of my kids, one being trans, one being bi, and she's wanting to make a big splash and be like, "Hey, I'm a great parent."
That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. That gets her status. You understand?
Yeah.
That gives her status. Look how accepting I am and what a great parent I am.
But the only excuse she has is to like, "Oh, this must be because your dad touched you." And this is the furthest thing from the truth.
So
truth.
it sounds like some cockamamie horse shit.
It
And
does.
what I would do is I would stress. I wouldn't roll over, curl up, and be a milquetoast. I would stress the importance and severity of making false accusations of like that to law enforcement.
Can you please pray for me for that? Because like that's not the farthest. That's the farthest from me. Just I'm not strong. I just rather like
you can do it, man. You can do it.
People need to kick me in the ass and be like, "Fucking,
it,
you need to."
You've done it on here. You've done it on here for crying out
I
loud.
said the earth is flat. So fuck that.
I've seen you. I've seen you in action, brother. You ain't fucking helpless.
But thank you.
You're not
like
one
real life
bit.
shit.
Not one bit. Be your own hero, right? But yeah, I mean, for real, you're gonna be all right. And look, what is it says? There you go. Yeah, yeah. It sounds like, yeah, Daniel Baker says that 13-year-olds don't know bi or trans. Sounds like
Yes, it's
extreme
like
grooming
whatever
to
the
me.
newest fad is.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it is. And it's like, I liken it to like how dance moms or,
Yeah,
you know, these mothers of these
but this is
beauty
something that
pageant
can ruin my
kids.
life. Can you imagine me going to prison? I'm here calling you, crying. Can you imagine me in prison and fending myself, saying, "Yeah, I'm a child molester." Dude, I would
Yeah,
get my
yeah.
fucking killed the first week.
Yeah.
This is not. It's
Well,
not who I am.
let me ask you something is so I can, you know, I absolutely garner the sense that you and your ex are not on any amicable terms.
I've tried to be very amicable. When we divorced, I gave her everything, dude. I gave her the house. I gave her because she said that, hey, I'm gonna take care of the kids. Can you give me the house? So I gave her the house. She gave me like 25 grand and my car, and that's all I got. And she got like at the time because the house wasn't for sale, it was like 2,700 or 270,000. And then she sold it and married this douchebag. And now it's $750,000 that she sold the house for. I got fucking screwed. But
Yeah,
I was trying to be the good guy, you know.
yeah.
And
Wow.
I
Sounds like
used that
you
25 grand during COVID. That's when I used it because
yeah, you bit a poison apple when you got that one, my friend.
yeah,
It's amazing too that how often that the woman can appear to be so angelic on the altar and such a demon bitch in the divorce court.
yeah,
You know, it's like, how the fuck did that go down, right?
yeah. And now
Um,
she's living the high
but yeah,
life.
you keep your head high, you hang to truth. Nobody, you know, don't let them do like that police department did to that fucking kid. 17-hour interrogation without a lawyer, withheld his fucking medication and convinced him that he had committed murder against his father, and his father wasn't even harmed.
Yeah,
His father was fine. And it's like, what is your goal? What is your goal?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, be aware of your rights, invoke your rights. Don't be intimidated by the suit. Okay. All
Mhm.
that suit means is that I was too stupid to do anything useful. That's what that means. When
Hmm.
you see the police clown uniform, that's just a symbol of there's somebody that was too fucking stupid to do anything useful.
But that's why I got a lawyer this time.
There you go. Well, you'll be all right, Greg. Everything gonna be fine. You're gonna promise me. I want you to call Barbara.
Okay,
Promise me.
I will check in with you too as well.
All right. All right.
Thanks, dude.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Later, Bright. I don't know. Maybe he feels comfortable talking to people and maybe some wise decisions. You know, it's hard to think when about a problem real well when you're immersed in the middle of it. So sometimes it just takes a little like that to get somebody back on track. And so there we are with that. Yeah, you invoke your Fifth Amendment Miranda rights. Absolutely, 100%. Yep, that's what you say. You don't have a right to remain silent. You have a fucking obligation to. Okay? That's the only way I'm gonna say it. What do you say to police? I don't answer questions. That's what you say. Okay? They don't have authority over you unless you've committed a crime. They can't tell you, take your hand out of your pocket. Suck my ass. Now that you've told me to take my hand out of my pocket, I'm going to purposely keep my hand in your pocket because there's no law against having my hand in my pocket. I don't give a fuck if you're scared. That's a you problem, not mine. So anyway, that's all I wanted to do, I think, tonight. Unless anybody's gonna something to air or come up and want to talk for a few minutes. I see Flow State says what? Mandela effects aren't real. Oh, they absolutely are. And they're still occurring. They're still happening. So yeah. Absolutely. 100%.
And this is what's so fucking crazy about it is that this pattern that's in it, man. This pattern, it's perplexing. You disagree about listening with your heart? I'm late. Yes, you are. Hello, baby. You are late. I was just getting ready to wrap it up here, unless somebody's got something. I'm just going to peruse through. Oh, yeah, here we go again. What is this? Who wouldn't want to go on a guided tour? Oh, yeah. The final experiment. That's right. I wanted to touch on that. Holy crap. So, how would you like a chance to go to Antarctica with MC Tune? Did anybody's cringe when I said that? Yeah, I sure did. So what is this going on? Can we also do Cancun or nap after? This is let's see. Who wouldn't want to go to guided tour to Antarctica, which nobody has ever denied existed, with the stated purpose of looking up at the sky to determine the shape of the ground, which is fucking retarded with these awesome bros. He's talking about FTFE and the McDuffie guy that set this up with him. Nobody wants to play with you, McToon. Nobody cares about you. You've lost any small amount of relevance that you may have once had. What in the world? I don't even know what that was. I heard some kind of a speaker go off in the other room. That's kind of crazy. What do you guys know about shopping? Oh, let me see here. I knew I had found some shit. The big thing with the Diddy. Yeah, what do y'all think? Crazy, right? What is it going on? Is going on here? Let's see. The heart is a higher intelligence than the brain. It's been proven. I forgot what study it was. It's at the Heart Math Institute. You can actually, they have a website, so check that out. Earthgoat. Yeah, there's more communication happens from the heart to the brain than from the brain to the heart. The heart has actually been shown to have brain cells in it. Really interesting shit. There's been incidences of people getting heart transplants and suddenly having memories and familiarities with people that were, known to the donor, developing the same skills that donor had once had. So it's kind of interesting. The Heart Math Institute, it's called. Pretty interesting, man. Pretty interesting studies there. This was why. How you doing, Flow State?
Good.
But this is, I think, one of the biggest reasons, and it's based on what I found there, and it's pretty substantiated at the Heart Math Institute, that the electromagnetic field that emanates from the heart has a 6-foot diameter. Okay. And there's a communication that takes place amongst people that's on an unseen level through that magnetic field when we're within proximity of each other's heart fields. One of the reasons how moods are infectious, and you can you start vibing with somebody. That's what that is, right? So the last 4 years, one of those protocols they had was to keep us 6 feet apart. And of course, the radius of 6 foot is 3 foot. And if my electromagnetic field's not intermingling with your electromagnetic field, that's one level of communication that's cut away from us. Now we cover up another huge one, which is micro expressions that we use when we're communicating. So now we've cut that off. So it was basically nothing more than isolation is what they were going for. No communication.
Well, my issue with the claim that people need to think with their heart more than their head is there's really not, like, thoughts are with your head. When somebody says think with your heart, what are they really suggesting? That you act on your emotions, right?
I wouldn't call it emotion. I would probably call it intuition. This is why I say we experience the world with 6 senses, and intuition is one of those that we're trained to not listen to because, it's not tangible. but in a way it is. It's sort of like, I don't know, it's a feeling. You know, you either feel like something is right or you feel like there's something not right about this. And I'm sure you've been in situations where you're like, everything seems okay on the surface, but something's just not right.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm old enough to know at this point I need to not just talk myself out of my instincts. But
that's what they mean more by that.
Right.
You know, use your heart, not alone, not your heart alone, include it. You see. Yeah, you're not going to think, because you can't do that.
I probably read too much into the comment that I was responding to.
It's easy to do. You know, you think with your heart. I believe what they were saying is not exclusively, but in conjunction with all the rest. Like, in other words, like when you say, you know, I can't put my finger on it, but something's just not fucking right. Now, if you can't put your finger on it, that means that you just, through your intuition, know that there's something not right. And usually you find it if you look hard enough, you know. It's kind of like, you know, giving you away. All right, it's fact checking the other 5 senses, you know.
Right.
I guess that's the best way to
put it. There's just certain things that are you know, certain ways that what's wrong? Con men encourage you to behave, right? And so thinking with your feelings is one of them. Don't overthink it, that sort of shit. Everything that Jack Talcott promotes, basically.
Too much into one. It's there again. That's out of balance. If you're only going by that, you know, if that's your only source, then you're out of balance with the rest. If you don't include that, you're still out of balance. And everything has to be about balance. That's what you want to do, is try to balance everything. Mimic nature. Everything wants to balance out. That's just how everything works. So you want to balance mind, body, and spirit. You want to have those things all within balance of one another. If you have them out of balance, you only think with, like, for instance, with your mind and not with your body and spirit, you're not including that, then you've cut out, you're out of balance. The same thing is if you operate strictly from ego rather than from higher self, then you're upside down.
Sean, you see Sean's encouraging us to think with our nuts?
Sean is encouraging us to think with our nuts. Well, there's a lot of us that do.
That's where most of my thinking occurs.
Unfortunately, that's gotten a lot of us into trouble too, in more ways than one. There's Greg. He's back.
But a lot of times it's like the best kind of trouble. Or what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is I'm glad that I accidentally got somebody pregnant. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I could say the same. My son.
Because if it was left up to you to plan, like, I don't know when I would have felt like I've got my shit together enough, got enough money, you know, to actually have a kid. I think I probably would have delayed. So I'm kind of glad that some things are not left up to me to make the decision.
Well, you know, I found that when I approach everything within, you know, and this might sound kind of funny, but I'm like, you know, I'm in God's hands. God's not going to let me down. He always provides. I'm going to be okay in this situation, you know. Oh, here comes a kid. Well, that's fine. This happens to a lot of people, and they always find a way through it. Now, it's easy to go, oh, shit, fuck, I'm done. And then go and sign up for the government fucking bullshit, you know, because it's easy. But you don't, you know, that's what they try to coerce you into. You'll be able to, everybody can, it's always, you find a way. There's always, if you find a way, if you have trust and belief that a way will be there, and extreme belief, along with the gratitude of it having come to fruition. I'd lived my entire life that way, man. It works out.
Austin Murphy. He tripped and fell. My aim's not that good.
So what's been going on with you?
Man, same shit, new day. I've been doing, like I was mentioning in the comments a minute ago. I just I guess, yeah, it ended yesterday. Did a 24-hour pan. Yeah, it's over 2 different videos, right? Because they don't save after 12 hours. And I didn't do it alone for sure. Like, I tagged out for most of the second half. Buddy Glenn helped, but yeah, man, I've been streaming like a motherfucker.
Is it just open discussion, no particular topic?
Yeah, I started out with a topic. You know, this is how I do my panels. I sort of start out with, I don't hold hard to the topics. I like to let conversations go where they will, because you never know who's going to come in and who's going to bring what. And I've found that, at least in my opinion, you get better content out of just letting the conversation steer itself once it gets rolling. But I do start out with sort of topics, and this one was basically about cops, as many of mine are, because I'm not a fan of them. But yeah, it went wherever. Most of the second half was a theological argument.
Oh, those are fun. Those are always real fun. You know, because listen, that's been like the crux of so many philosophical discussions over the aeons of man's existence, right? This has been a hot topic for mankind all the time, and it's like the foundation of so many of our philosophies. You know, how many hours have been spent by men contemplating, you know, the existence of God, the role of God, the nature of good and evil, that whole thing. I mean, this just seems to be maybe exactly why we're here, to try to figure that out.
And congrats to Austin Murphy.
What did he do?
He's 4 weeks clean today from booze.
Good for you, Austin. Good for you, man. Listen, that's the hardest time. That's the hardest time. It gets easier and easier and easier with every passing day. Keep that in mind, bro. Keep that in mind.
I don't know how alcohol is, but for me with dope, it seemed like there was like a dip and then a spike again. Like once you start to feel normal after the first month, like you're not withdrawing anymore, you're back to normal, and then it's like, okay, I'm good now. I can.
Yep.
I would imagine that alcohol is a bit different of a pattern, though.
Here's the thing about it, the sneaky nature of alcohol. Okay, this is the sneaky fucking part of it. Okay, you get to a point where your drinking becomes disastrous, right? So you end up going like to AA or something, and you decide, or you even just decide to quit, right? And even if you invoke willpower, you go for a period of time and you start feeling a little better, and then you come to the idea that, you know, I got a handle on this now.
Yep,
I can handle this now. After all, I'm the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my own ship, right? So what you'll do is you say something like, I'm only going to drink brown liquors, or I'm only going to drink, I will not drink until such and such a time, and only during these days. Listen, if you have to set fucking conditions on yourself, you have a problem. That's all. If you have to set conditions and rules on yourself, then you have a problem.
It's probably a good rule, actually, or a good measure. Yeah.
So, no, you're not going to be able to, because then what goes on is you go, yeah, and you have a few drinks. And you go, see, I didn't get out of control. Everything was fine. I handled myself okay. So a little bit more is not going to hurt. And you'll do that until you're right in the same fucking boat, but worse than you were when you decided to quit the last time.
He says he went to detox, then rehab. Did you go to detox in rehab? When I was in rehab the first time, I was in the detox wing for about a week, and I was detoxing off benzos. And benzos and alcohol are the only two withdrawals that can kill you. And in the detox wing, I was between two alcoholics. My bed was between two. And those motherfuckers were hallucinating, and it was wild.
Yeah, listen, I can remember I'd gotten to where I was hearing like violin music off in the background, but it wasn't there.
you know, I mean, I don't even know how to do that. It's just like in the hallucinations that were taking place. Like I was having these almost like fever dreams. It was just really, really fucking miserable. You know, I'm not gonna lie, it was just straight up fucking miserable. Hang on a second. I'm gonna try to get this fucking globetard to come up on the show here real quick. Let's see. It's
Only went to detox for 3 days. I was in detox for a week, yeah. And then after that, even though I was still detoxing pretty good, I kind of forced. They wouldn't let you. They have some sort of a pill that they were giving me during detox, to minimize the withdrawals, and I couldn't leave the detox wing until I quit taking those, and I also couldn't start the 28-day program while I was in detox wing. So I kind of shoved myself out of there, maybe a little prematurely, but I was ready to start getting this thing underway.
well, and the thing too is that there's so much, just like with anything within the healthcare system, there's more focus on the profitability than there is on the actual well-being of the quote unquote patient. Okay. What's the most cost-effective thing that we can do here? We're going to give you McRehab because you don't have as good of insurance as, you know, Jay Botsworth, the dickhead, the third over here. That motherfucker, he's getting to go to this thing in Maui and hang out with fucking yogis and shit for 2 months, while poor Billy Bob, who's, you know, just trying to get himself right, he gets, you know, Mick fucking rehab for 2 weeks. So you got to rely too, and this is important, Austin, get the support of your friends. Stay out of wet places and wet faces. Okay. Stay away from wet places and wet faces, and get the support of your friends. Listen, I'll tell you what, find some good ones. Go to a couple AA meetings. Find the longest fucking guy sober in that motherfucker and
The
get
longest guy.
Because I guarantee you won't be able to run no bullshit past him. Okay. And then if you're out there and you feel like maybe taking a drink or you're getting the idea of doing it, you call that guy. Okay. Don't go get a girl. That never works out. Don't ever get the opposite sex. I've seen people try that bullshit and it always ends up in a 13.
So you're saying you can't bang your sponsor?
No, you're not supposed to bang anybody in the program, man. That's called 13th stepping, because it's going to lead to disaster. Always does. I mean, there's a few rare occasions, but it usually ends up not a good situation, because you got two broken people continuously trying to fix themselves and then trying to deal with the relationship with one another. That's not going to work, man. It just doesn't happen. So,
yeah, I was never in AA. Felt like the addiction was still running people's lives, right? They were still running their life around the substance, just in a different way.
Yeah.
But it helps a lot of people. So, I mean, I can't really talk shit on it.
Well, it's all about how it's run and how, you know, there has to be wisdom within some of those, in those groups. You understand? They get too far away. People want to go in there and they're not spiritually prepared. They don't understand that that alcoholism is spiritual first, chemical in nature second. A lot of people don't understand that, but it is. You've actually willingly imbibed spirits, which you have been influenced with demonic entities, and they are still following you around because you're still tuned. And what these people do is go into these meetings not spiritually prepared, and they just swap demons because they have drunkalogs. They try to start out topping each other of who's got the worst story. You know, who did the most outlandish thing and gotten the worst shit like that. It starts being like they're competing or some shit, you know, and you don't want that. You don't want that. The thing that you want to focus on is what is making me do this?
What is making me want to do this all the time? It's obviously not good for myself. That'd be like, if you wanted to bang your head into the wall. I don't understand why I keep getting concussions. And it's like, well, stop banging your head against the wall. No good has ever come from it. So just stop. I mean, how many times did you have to touch a hot burner on a stove before you stopped doing it and was very careful the next time you encountered a hot burner on a stove? If it was more than once, then you're fucked. There's something wrong with you. So treat it the same way. The stove burner, alcohol burned you. Don't touch it. Coconut.
Yeah.
Evil dry bricks of weed from Mexico. Oh my God, those Mexican brick weed. Dude. And it's a low vibrational. Alcohol is such a low vibrational high. If everybody knows, you get to an alcohol party where everybody's drinking, somebody will start arguing and fighting over something completely fucking stupid to the point where they're ready will come to blows over whether or not it was a 61 Ford or a 62 Ford. Like, who fucking cares, right? But it's a good excuse to argue and fight, God damn it. And we're going to get pissed off and do it. And there's always some kind of negative shit.
That shit was fun. I liked fighting.
No, I did not. Because, even though I didn't lose, you still get hurt. I don't like to be hurt.
It's like a high intensity sport.
Yeah,
that's how I treated it. Like, you're not wrong, but I guess I'm that kind of psycho.
I don't want to be hurt. I don't like pain. I have a high threshold of pain, but I would just as soon not have any at all, which, as I get older, is completely fucking unavoidable. Completely unavoidable. And it's just so weird because shit'll happen to you and you're like, why did I just now get a pain in this spot? I wasn't even moving and I just got a pain for some reason in this spot. That is dumb, right? The other day, I got up from where I was sitting in the front room to go over to the door and let the dogs out. And my knee felt like it, for some reason, like I'd smacked it into something. And I hadn't done a fucking thing. And it was making me limp. And then for no reason, just went away. I mean, what causes shit like that? I don't get it, man. No. So the difference in that is that the low vibration, when you resonate at a low vibration, your radio is tuned to low vibrational entities. It's that simple. When you tune yourself to a high vibration, now it's the complete opposite. This is why people are always happy and laughing and they ain't wanting to fight and shit when they're smoking weed, right? They're just like, man.
I didn't like weed either.
Weed
was boring.
Weed is
boring.
You're not.
It's not enough to make you go to sleep, but it does make you lazy. Just kind of hungry.
Oh no! So you gotta know whether to go with the indicas or with the fucking sativas, right? So during the day, sativa brings out your creative side.
The only weed that I remember liking was old school Northern Lights, like 2001 Northern Lights, or something.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, that was a sativa. Now, the thing is with sativas, man, they just take longer to grow, but, and they get ridiculously tall, ridiculously tall. I had to change my lighting even when they were in flower. They're not supposed to stretch. A plant's not supposed to stretch during flower, but just a certain amount, right? Them fuckers just kept going. I had to take them off the table and put them down on the floor and shit. They're still going up to the fucking lights, 10 feet up. I think they took 12 weeks. I think it was like 11 or 12 weeks to ripen.
What's indica take?
like 8, 6 to 8. You can go 9, but that'll increase your CBD content, which is the more you increase your CBD content, the more couch lock effect it has, where you're like sitting there watching some stupid shit, thinking about the sandwich you're going to get up and make. And 5 hours later, you still haven't done it. You know, you just been thinking about it and getting hungrier and hungrier. You just can't get yourself going. You just fucking
yeah. That's that shit that I don't like.
Yeah, that's high CBD. That's overripe weed. Myself, I'm a marijuana connoisseur.
I see that.
So, you know, I'm very particular about the various.
I help my buddy. I've got a buddy who has a little grow operation. Well, I mean, it's decent sized, but I helped him just for one day with it, and god damn, there's a lot of fucking trimming to do.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It was like there's like 5 of us sitting around a card table just trimming.
Oh, you was at harvest. You was there at harvest time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. We would sit around. And then the bonus of that is that you got to keep scraping that gum off your trimming scissors, right?
Right.
Collect that up, get you a ball about that fucking big. You put it in the bong and you're just, geez.
I was like, this shit sounded way more fun before I started helping.
It gets, the more of them little balls of gum that you smoke, the more fun it becomes. Man, I can remember we had the front room was filled up with Home Depot 5-gallon buckets full of trimmed buds. Because every time we get one full, we put the lid on it, stack it over in the corner, and then every day you had to go through, roll the fucking ball, the bucket, stir up the weed inside of it, open up the fucking lid, let it breathe, kind of shake it around, close it back up, do the next one, do that every day for a couple of weeks until it got cured to a point where it was, you know, marketable. Because I'll tell you what, if you just get some really freshly trimmed weed and you're patient enough, just take it and put it in a jar and store it, and take it out every day or every couple of days, open it up, shake it around a little bit, close it back up, let that shit cure in there, baby. And I'll tell you what, you can go from okay so weed to fucking stomp your ass shit just by doing that. It's amazing. Speaking of which, found my torch.
It's still illegal where I'm at, and not that it's really any skin off my back. You know, it's.
I never let that concern me.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I feel like it's worth, you know, throwing out there that I don't smoke weed. Anybody watching me? I've already had my door kicked in before. Don't need that to happen again.
Oh man, no, don't be kicking in my door. It's gonna be party time then. Shit.
Well, I don't know. I'll be trying to hit you with a blowtorch or something.
Yeah, right. No, I mean for real. It's yeah, I know that sucks.
Yeah. But actually, I'm about 2 weeks away from being able to apply for expungement, so I'm counting down the days for that.
My friends in Canada, I feel so bad for those fucking people. You know, we need to give them sanctuary in the States
because they're Canadian. Just because being Canadian sucks.
No, man, it's Canadian.
Oh, right.
You're not pronouncing it right. It's Canadian. So, they just passed a law where they can retroactively punish you for hate speech.
Really?
Yes.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, that's the thing. And they can't have,
insane.
You know, the ability to have and maintain firearms there is ridiculous. There's no fucking way. You know, and I feel so bad. I'm like, come on down here, I'll give you a gun. You know, it's like,
so what is the pun? So hate speech is actually a crime.
It is not, well, not by
the question.
A crime. It's
I mean, in Canada.
Yeah, but I mean,
is it punishable by law?
Yes, through legislation. Yes.
Woo.
Not through law, though. Law is actually already established. Man can't write law.
Okay. Well, you know what I mean.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, although there is no victim from that action, it's a code violation.
a violation of legislation, which is nothing more than mandates and dictates written on parchment by people. But
With
actual
guns behind
law,
them.
what's that?
With guns behind them.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem. Those people don't have guns behind them anymore up there. We do. You know, if shit
Yeah,
hits the fan, Taylor, you just hightail it out here to the valley. I got you covered, babe. What do you want? AK, AR?
Probably an AR,
shotgun?
unless it's raining.
You want an AR pistol, 18-inch or 20-inch barrel? I got, or 16 or an 18-inch barrel. I got all three.
16, 18, or 20, probably 16.
Okay.
Or unless the pistol has one of those braces
I got
on
a
it.
pistol. I got a pistol, a 16 and an 18.
I do like the pistols with the brace, as long as it's got the shoulder. I mean the arm brace.
Yeah, it's definitely got.
Yeah.
It's got a shake awake red dot.
Nice.
Holographic sight on it. So those are pretty. Those are sweet because it doesn't. You don't have to fucking worry about parallax. Once it's sighted in, you can move your head over here, and if you see the dot in there, whatever the fuck the dot's on is what's going to hit. So you don't have to deal with parallax. Those are sweet, man. You can really plank some steel with that shit, man.
Yeah, I prefer the pistols. If you need, I've found that anytime I've needed to grab something in the past when I was still allowed to own them,
the only thing is you sacrifice range and muzzle.
You do sacrifice range, but I'm more concerned about something that's up close than something that's far away.
Right.
It makes it more. You can maneuver better in a tight spot. So I feel like that's more important to me, or has been in the past.
You might actually like the 9mm pistol carbine that I have.
Is it one of the ones you stick your Glock up in?
Yeah, no, you don't put the Glock in it. It's a whole firearm. It's called an X-Star EP9. They're made in Lake Havasu, Arizona. You can only order them online. You have to have them sent to an FFL. They cost, I think, $435 or something like that. Right? It's an AR platform, and it takes a 9mm double stack Glock magazine. It's got a whole buffer assembly in this tube behind the bolt where the pistol brace is at. It's real easy to take down, clean, put back together, and it will chew the shit out of cheap ammo too, man. It's not finicky.
That's a good thing, because ammo looks like ammo's getting pricey.
You can get that cheap ass steel case shit that they got. It's got instead of brass, it's
the
got
Wolf ammunition or whatever.
Yeah. You put that shit in it and run it through there all day long. It don't give a shit. It'll fire it, and it's fun. We take that out to the range, and I got 33 round Glock clips, magazines. I put one of those in that thing and just start. It's like ding 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 ding. Then run some subsonic on it with the silencer can on it. It's like doop, ding, doop,
Oh, you
ding.
got a can too?
Yeah.
Back when I used to have guns, I had, they made, I don't know, I don't think they still sell them, but for a while you could get muzzle devices on eBay or Amazon with external threading, and they just so happen to thread to oil filters, most Fram oil filters.
Yeah. Yeah. They actually have been sending people around from ATF, because they got a hold of the lists of people that ordered shit like that, and they're trying to get people to give them up and everything, and people are just telling them, get the fuck out of here, you don't even have a warrant, go away.
As salty as I still am about having to give up on my guns in a plea deal, watching the Biden ATF operate has made me a little bit happy sometimes that there is a clear paper trail of me not having guns, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, the thing is, you got to really think about this from a logical standpoint, and it really becomes evident when, all right, first off, they don't want you to have any guns. They want to take your guns. Now, why? That tells me that they're planning on doing something that you would probably shoot them for.
Now, where this becomes really evident is when these areas trying to make it illegal for you to own body armor. Now, why
That's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, would it be equally as illegal for you to have a crash helmet?
Yeah, that
No,
there's no way to justify that
nope,
prohibition on body armor.
nope. That right there tells you what their plan is. That right there tells you that they want to shoot you. They don't want you to be able to not be shot. I mean, I can't understand why people would say, hey, it's probably a good idea we make a safe and effective body armor that can fit right underneath of your clothes. Because after all, in today's day and age, with all the mass shootings and things happening, that's the smart thing to do is to have some body armor, right?
Mm.
It's like a Bell motorcycle. Oh, man, we back?
Yeah, I think we're back.
Yeah, we glitched for a second there. My internet's showing the little thing up there again.
I hate it when that shit starts to happen.
Well, it always starts to happen during certain topics too. So I don't think it's just random. I think they're like busted and it went back. Okay. But yeah, I mean that definitely tells you exactly what's on the menu. Why wouldn't they want people to be safe? Isn't it tragic? What about if if at least a percentage of those people that are shot up in these mass shootings had just happened to have had body armor and were with us today because they had the foresight?
I mean, I don't think anybody's wearing that shit around just to the movies and stuff.
I'm just saying I'm saying in that scenario, I mean, it would be more wise to try to promote something like that than to make it
Illegal.
law. Yeah, that's
What is good at stopping bullets is porcelain. Anything porcelain. That pottery, flower pot, anything, you get one crack at it, but just fun fact.
I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, I dustified a fucking toilet at the dump with a 45 one time.
Right, but that's the point, right? When you shoot it, the toilet shatters and it takes the energy out of the bullet's motion stops because all that energy transfers into the toilet and it so you're not going to stop a whole bunch of them, but
it was just like white chunks and dust in the air, man. That's all it was. It was like somebody put off a bomb inside of it. But that is interesting, yeah, because it did seem to explode in a radial pattern, some even back toward me. So
but the thing that the lockdowns worldwide demonstrated to me is that that tyranny is done by administrative people, not by boots and guns, right? And the administration class is less likely to act if they think people can defend themselves. At least that's the takeaway for me. So,
well, they always have their little violent henchmen out there, whether it be a king and his knights and his army, or a police force. They always have their little violent squad, right? So you do what I say, because most people say fuck you, right?
Right, but it doesn't take long until they can only do so much.
Right.
You don't really want to have to use those because once they're used up, they're pretty used up.
Well, and you got to look at it this way. There's way more of us than there is of them.
Like if I were so inclined to want to do crimes, like you just wait until you see something pop off, right? If you see the cops are preoccupied in one place, you can bet that basically all the cops are going to be there because that's how they operate.
Yeah. Well, listen, back in the day, right here where I live at now, and I'm talking have you ever seen that movie with Lawless? With Shia LaBeouf about the moonshine?
I don't think so.
It's a pretty good movie. It's a true story. It came from a book called The Wettest County, Franklin County, the Wettest County. And that's right near here in the same mountain range. Same moonshining was going on here, especially during Prohibition. And what they would do here is they would call the police, right? And this was back in the day, to come up in the holler. Now, in the hollows, when you go up in there, what it is like it usually follows a run from the mountain. And so there's like one way up and the same way back out. It's just like a little one-way area way back up to the foot of the mountain and maybe up a little bit into the foot of the mountain. So what they do is they call the police to come down there for something. Then they'd say it was way back up in the fucking thing, a fight, or even stage a fight. And then once the cops were up there, somebody up at the other end of the road would fucking cut a tree down across the road. And then they were free to go off and do their little shenanigans or whatever. And the cops were trapped in there and had to move that tree. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty ingenious. And listen, I've heard stories. There's God knows how many government taxmen are in these mountains buried someplace. I'm not shitting you. They'd come up here, revenuers, because of the moonshine stills. They'd come up in here and, just were never seen again. They'd come up here and say, hey, we're looking for this revenue agent that was just up here. So, nope, haven't seen him. Don't know what you're talking about, mister. Get off my land. Pretty bad, man. Pretty bad. These people are pretty rough.
Yeah, I can't say I feel too bad for them.
Crypt Rick. I was on the Crypt Rick show on, they have a radio podcast thing. Here's what I'm going to do here too, real quick. Just a second. I'm going to go over here to Crypt Rick, where he's at on my chat. Where's he at? Where's he at? There he is. We're going to do this. And that way he can put his links, all his creds. Did you see the South Park thing about cred? That was pretty
cool. I haven't watched any. I haven't watched South Park in years. Not because I dislike it. I don't really watch much of anything anymore.
Oh, I love South Park. Is always just so fucking.
I tried to convince the girls that we should sell all of our TVs. I was like, we don't need these mind control boxes. And that went absolutely nowhere immediately.
Oh yeah. They depend on it. Well, look how powerful of a tool it is.
Oh, it's perfect.
I mean, again, with the last 4 years, they convinced people of things happening that did not in any way, shape, or form reflect the reality that these people were in. In other words, nobody saw going on outside their homes what was shown to us on the fear-mongering news channels with their big red death numbers and shit. Mm-hmm. In fact, Brian Staveley, after he saw them showing this overloaded hospital and all these workers are just fucking exhausted and everything else like that, Brian Staveley went to these hospitals and he was fucking dead. He filmed it, man.
Oh, I did that too, actually.
I mean, it's like, so what the fuck? So it's such a powerful tool of imagery and sound that people believe it to be reality, no matter what you show them on it, Yep. It's crazy how they get that.
I did the same thing with 2 hospitals here in the Kansas City area, and there wasn't shit going on.
So yeah, Crypt Rick, put your links in the chat. There you go. Crypt Rick has put his link in the chat. Feel free to click the StreamYard link if you'd like to, Rick. Come on up. They got this awesome radio podcast. They put the replays on Rumble. I'm waiting for the replay of my show to come on there so I can download it and I'll put it up on my channel. I don't think we went anywhere that would jeopardize anything, but we'll see what happens with it. I can take a risk. I ain't got no strikes. I've been being a good boy. Yeah, man.
I don't either. I think that they just actually, the whole history of my channel, I've been rolling at 2 strikes nonstop. And then when I kind of switched over, I don't know, a year ago, I guess, and started doing more live streams and turned on the memberships and all that stuff. Once I started making money, they stopped caring.
Yeah, it seems to be where it's at. I'm gonna get that shit rolling on my channel too.
Here's what I did with mine is
I'm only at 2,080 something subscribers right now.
well, that's it. Are you monetized at all?
No,
What the fuck's wrong with you?
I don't know, man. I just ain't got around to it.
What, you got too much money or something? I don't know. With all these guns I hear about, maybe you do.
It's like I look at it like, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and like it's every day I get up and I'm like, yeah, maybe before I go on Flatzoid's panel, I'll finish that next step on that monetization.
Well, you don't have to to get monetized. You just basically have to turn it on, right?
Well, no, you have to wait. You have to set up an AdSense account, and then you have to wait for a pin to show up in the fucking mail or some shit. I did it before. I had a monetized channel, and then they took it down because of the coof talk, yeah. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll get it there, and shit, maybe I'll do it after I get off the stream here tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, you should do it because get that ball rolling, get that pin in the mail, and then you've got for 2000. And I was noticing this actually earlier, a little while back. For the amount of subscribers you have a consistent, solid 100 viewers all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty I guess I'm averaging, it looks like recently I'm averaging about 1,000 views per video per live stream.
Right. So I mean, but the loyalty, it seems like you've got a loyal viewership.
I do.
And I know that Angela Baby Carson down there, she's a fantastic promoter. I guarantee she would
she has merch a lot.
She's a merch person.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. That's another thing. Oh, that was something else. It was like I got to get some merch going too. I just haven't. Not really sure what I'm wanting to put on as a logo or whatever. I don't know. It's hard to come up with that kind of shit. I just. But yeah, soon I'll have that kind of shit rolling. Why not? Might as well. It's just like. I don't know. They really, when YouTube took my channel down before, they really pissed me off. This channel came up in spite of that. Okay. I was like, you are not going to shut me the fuck up. That's all. And so, I don't know. Maybe just, but I'm thinking it's like I'm flying under the radar, but I'm really not. So what the hell?
Yeah. You're on YouTube. You're definitely on the radar.
Oh, God. And yeah, I know. And get on Rockfin. That's how Sean tips. Yeah, I applied to Rockfin, and they I never heard nothing back from them. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it again. But I even had Austin Thompson recommend me to him, and Brian Stavely, and still didn't hear nothing. So maybe I'm just too hot for their shit too. I don't know.
But I'm on the only other one that I'm on actively is Rumble.
Yeah, same here.
And I was about to say I normally get one Rumble viewer at a time, but this last time when I checked over on Rumble, the last stream, I had about 6 or 7 going each time. So
yeah, I got to check over and let me see what my Rumble's doing right now. 13.
Are we on Rumble right now?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Rumble viewers.
Leo Slayer's over there. Cheddar Steve. Yeah, Leo Slayer said that you're in denial about something. I don't know. I'm sure.
Oh, probably Mandela. If he's talking to me, it's probably about my position on Mandela effect.
Oh, yeah. There's some people. Listen, I don't get bent about it. I mean, I know I've shown to reasonable satisfaction, if not utter confidence, that is indeed something that is occurring. I don't need anyone else's approval, and if somebody else doesn't see it, that's okay. That's fine. I think it would be cool if more people could, but it is profound in its implications to me, and I cannot find any way to refute or deny that it's actually happening, because I mean, I'm actually subject to it. Have had several things that have been literally changed in my reality that I know for fucking certain were another way.
Like how your penis turned into a vagina.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest ones right there. I was wondering how that would happen, but and anyway, you know, just now I have to just flick my bean. I don't get to beat the bishop. I must.
Is it gay to masturbate to yourself?
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I don't know. We'll find out. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. There's that's another thing too. I'm seeing a lot of people really trying to push. I mean, like with Greg and that thing right there, I can only imagine having kids in school right now. Thankfully, like my daughter is very well grounded, and my grandson is you know, he's not falling for all that stupid shit either, you know. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
lucky in that way too.
there. What it is, these people, which of course my daughter's not. I mean, she's not fully awake. She thinks that a lot of the stuff I think or say, she's like, oh, come on, really? You know, of course, we don't talk about it a whole lot. I'm sure with a little bit more time, she'd see more of it. But she's not one of these NPC system sucker things. When she sees something fucked up, she calls it out. She doesn't mess around. I'm really proud of her. She's an independent. She's independent. She's responsible. She runs she works on, lives on, and works at and runs a horse farm. And she trains horses and also does different types of like herding competitions and penning. You know,
Horses give you that one eye look, like they know you're not in charge. I don't trust those motherfuckers.
Oh my God, she's been in love with horses since she was just little. Here at this house across the road from here, this used to be my parents' house, and across the road they had horses penned up. There was a horse stable. There still is a horse stable over there, but there's not quite as many horses as there used to be. We'd come over to see Grandma and Grandpa, and she'd do her obligatory hi Grandma and hi Grandpa, and it was right off the bat. Can I go over and see the horses? And she'd be over there, and as soon as she's always had this gift. As soon as she would show up over there, and those horses in the pasture would see her, every one of them start making a line over there. I'd look over there after about 5 minutes. Every horse in the pasture was over there wanting her attention. It was amazing. And they're still like that. She just is natural with them.
Yeah, I'm lucky to my daughter too has her head on pretty damn well, because she is in school, you know, during this insanity. But I pay attention to the school. The school Katie, my girlfriend, my daughter, everybody tries to keep me away from the school because I'm that pain in the ass dad. The school called me one time, and I went in and talked to them, and they never contacted me ever again. But I asked her when she was in 7th grade. I asked her if there were any trans kids in her class, and she got a kind of a sheepish look on her face and said, "There used to be." I said, "What the fuck happened?" And she's like, "Well, she got tired. It was a guy, one of the boys, who kept swapping around, changing, and she got fucking tired of it, and told him to choose one for good, and he decided he was a boy."
Wow. I don't know how
Which sort of tells me something about that phenomenon, right? If you're doing it for attention, it sounds like he was doing it for attention, right? And when the attention turned negative, because he was milking it, he's like, all right, well, I'll quit playing the game.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Brenda on here?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Brenda is an unhinged 66-year-old man who dresses up like a woman and calls himself Brenda.
I don't think I've seen Brenda.
Oh my word. Oh my word. So
I had referred to Neil deGrasse Tyson as HNIC-NDT. Okay. And he says, well, that's racist. And I said, what's racist? And she said, what's HNIC? I said, head nerd in charge.
Nice trap.
I says, why? What did you think it was? Yeah.
I see you. If there's if I could punch one person in the face, it'd be Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh my God. I don't know. I would have to sit down and really think about it, because there's a few that I am really, really want to punch in the face as hard as I possibly can.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, #1. I would love that. He is so smug.
Yeah, well, they all are. Okay, they all are. This is what you have of them. This smugness, arrogance, and condescension that they use. Okay, that's what they have, because look, nobody wants to be singled out. Nobody wants any smoke. Nobody wants to be called a dunce by the teacher, until you run across somebody like me who don't give a fuck. Right?
But it's interesting, because it shows the programming, right? He doesn't explain things. He mocks people who question. And and on the inside cover of his book, there's the inside cover page has like a little quote sometimes, or a dedication. His quote says, what's it say? It's like, science doesn't need you to understand it to be true. Like, well, this lets you know what you're getting the rest of the book, huh? A bunch of gaslight.
Listen, he was on here and he's so serious. He just is so bombastic. He's an actor, Did you know he was actually in a McDonald's commercial back in like the 80s or some shit?
I knew that he was an actor, and he got, basically casted. So did AOC, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah,
which, I'm all right with. She's the best looking member of Congress.
She's kind of toothy. I don't know. She kind of.
But you know what? Compared to her competition, she's a 10.
Well, Jesus Christ, But I don't know. Put her up next to a south end of a northbound mule.
Her competition. I mean, like, stand her next to Mitch McConnell, or.
That guy looks like that. Remember that motherfucker in Dracula? The one with Gary Oldman as Dracula?
I don't know if I saw it.
Keanu Reeves played.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
Remember that fucking dude? That's what Mitch McConnell looks like. He's like, that motherfucker looks embalmed. Like,
oh, yeah.
He's just like an animatronic corpse walking.
The MK Ultra is basically the only thing animating him at this time anymore. Did you see when his sister-in-law drowned? How she put, this is what they're saying. This woman, his sister-in-law, his wife's sister, who used to be the head of the Department of Transportation or something. Anyways, they're saying that she drowned in her car in a lake on her property. And they're saying that what she did is, instead of putting it in drive to go out the driveway, she put it in reverse and drove all the way back through her yard into the lake. Right.
That's wow.
You're right. Like, because I mean, we've all done that thing where you put it in the wrong gear. If you think that you're going forward and you start to go backwards, your instinct just slaps on that brake. Right.
Yeah. I've done that before too. Is like, have you ever like pulled up to a place to stop, like in a parking spot, and then you hit your brake, but at the same time the other car pulls out at the same speed as you was going forward like that, and you like push down harder on your brakes because it feels like they call that's a kinematic equivalent. That's
right.
That's
so what they're saying is this one, and then she was in her car and the door's locked or something, right? So they're saying that this woman forgot how to drive and her instincts turned off all the way down the fucking yard and into the lake. Get out of here.
Yeah, that sounds really suspicious, man. That really does sound. But
they'll just go, oh yeah, that's what happened, and be done. Even if there's overwhelming evidence that there's no way that could have possibly happened, that's going to be the story. I mean, look how long
Cops are lazy.
Look how long they've held on to the fucking Lee Harvey Oswald fucking story. Come on, man. 60 years plus, man. They've been holding on to that fucking bullshit story. It's been shown how it would defy physics. There's no possible fucking way that happened from where they said by who they said. I mean, but what are they still going with? Same fucking thing. Same thing with 9/11, Everybody knows that it wasn't what they told us. Fuck.
No, I don't believe I can't remember if they, I think, and I'm speaking off memory, so I might be wrong. I believe that they did a toxicology and she was clean. But even then, I spent a lot of years drunk and doing drugs, and forget it. You couldn't. I don't know. To be so inebriated, I didn't realize I was going backwards through the yard instead of forwards through the driveway. I don't think I would have been able to be that fucked up and make it into the car.
No. I mean, no, I don't believe so. I don't believe. How much? What was there in her toxicology came back negative?
I believe it came back negative. But now I've got myself. I'm questioning myself if I really remembered that or to this case or not. So let me just say I don't really know, but the impression I'm under is that she was sober. But even if she wasn't, I don't see how that would possibly matter.
There's that intuition. That's what I was talking about. There's that intuition right there. That wasn't what they told you. That it does look like some kind of.
That's just logic because it's impossible. Yeah. I've been fucked up enough, and I've been and I've driven enough, and I've driven off road. Just the whole thing, like, oh well, even if she was drunk, let's say she was shit-faced drunk, when you are off the road.
The only way I could see that possibly happening if she was already functionally drunk enough to get in the vehicle, but she'd already just took a couple drinks before she got in too. And then it start to hit her as she starts to operate the vehicle. That's a possibility, but that's really a unlikely sequence of events.
Or or if she somehow managed to get into the vehicle and knock it into reverse before passing out or something.
I don't know how you would do that.
But yeah, I mean, all these things, we're really reaching for unlikely scenarios to explain it.
Flatzoid's perspective is here. You ever watch his channel, Flatzoid's Perspective?
Sounds familiar. I don't know.
It usually comes on 3:00 our time. Well, wait, are you Central Time or Eastern?
Yeah, Central.
Central, so it'd be.
Oh yeah, I'm subscribed to Flatzoid.
Yeah, Flatzoid's Perspective. He's a great guy, man. I usually try to get on his panel. He's really got some good.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah, we debated Craig, Fight the Fat Ass Craig, and McToon on Jeranism together here just about couple weeks ago. We fucking demolished those guys, man. We completely demolished them. It was funny as shit, man. It was a good time because the stuff that those guys were coming up with was complete crack up fucking material. Complete crack up material. So it was fucking blast. We had a blast. What are you eating? What'd you get?
Man, Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Oh,
More Angela Baby Carson's down there probably still. She's gonna give me shit for eating junk food.
She is gonna give you shit for eating that nasty shit.
It's funny because I chain smoke cigarettes on my show, right? But the minute I start drinking pop, man, my chat will light up, tell me about how poison it is, and
look at Flatzoid still getting dumb threats from trolls for that debate.
It's like, yeah, it's funny as shit. And it's like, man, who was it? Are you familiar with the Lore Lodge? Have you ever heard of that channel? The Lore Lodge? Oh my God, this guy, I don't know. I'd never heard of him either until Flatzoid highlighted him one day. And this guy, I mean, wow, talk about, I just discovered flat Earth from the Flat Earth Society, and I'm going to use that as arguments for the globe. This guy, that's what he was doing. And it was like, we were pretty much making fun of the guy, you know, like, oh man, I wish he would come on here so we could set him straight on this dumb shit that he thinks.
Did you ever, you never debated Nick Volt, did you?
Yeah, I have.
On,
oh no, not on a platform like a debate channel. No, not on Jaredism or no, I've told him I'd be willing to do it anytime. No problem. You know, no problem.
Yep.
So I have not heard anything. I haven't seen Nick Volt in quite some time.
He came on my channel, what, about a week ago, I think?
Hey, is he drunk?
I didn't notice it.
Because he challenged me to he didn't challenge me to a fight. He said he was gonna come pound my ass. He was drunker and shit.
That doesn't sound like a fight.
Yeah, well, he said, yeah, I know, it sounded really gay. He said, well, and the reason for it was because that I denied that his children suffered in the Holocaust.
What?
Yeah.
Explain that.
Okay, yeah, I know, right? So he says, do you deny that my children suffered in the Holocaust? And I said, yes. And he said, I'm going to kick your ass. And I says, oh, okay. And he says, fly out here to where I live so I can kick your ass. And I said, well, no, I'm not going to fly out to where you live. He says, well, he says, I'll fly there.
Because you're scared, Dave.
And I says, okay. And he says, where's the nearest airport to you? And I said, Dulles, Ronald Reagan, Baltimore International, either one of those three. They're right next to each other. He says, will you pick me up from the airport? I said, wait a minute. You're going to fly out here to DC, which means I would have to drive all the way from where I'm at up to DC, about an hour to hour and a half, up to where you're at, to pick you up so that you can kick my ass. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. And I said, all right. I says, here's what you do. I says, book a flight, get there, go to Hertz, rent a car, set the GPS for Luray, Virginia, the Mimsland Hotel. I'll meet you there tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Got it? And I'll be goddamned. I went there just to the place. I filmed it. I made video of it. And I'm like, where'd you go, Nick? How come you didn't show up at the fucking Mimsland Hotel at the time that I told you? Are you even here? What the hell? But yeah, I think he's, I don't hear nothing out of him. Sean Hawkins, I don't hear a whole lot of him. Yeah.
I remember Hawkins.
He tries to garner my attention. He's riding on my coat heels. You know, on coattails. That's what he does.
Does he have a channel or something? I've only ever seen him in the chat.
Yeah, he has a channel again. He had a channel before, and he either got it took down or he took it down himself. He likes to throw a fit because people won't give him money, but he doesn't really have any content. Basically, what he does is he'll watch a video from a flat earther and go, fucking science deniers.
Oh, he's trying to make a grift out of it and failing.
Yeah, he sucks. So he doesn't have any content. So this time, I think he's up to like 54 subscribers. He just debated somebody on Jaredism the other night, and he was a disaster. He was a disaster trying to use two-dimensional Euclidean orthographic geometry to describe a first-person perspective view. You can't do that. It just doesn't work. And then he cries and Yeah.
Huh.
He's just
Yeah, no, I thought he was just an ankle biter in the comments.
no, he's a vile man. And I use the term man loosely, but he's very vile. He's vile. Craig, he's vile. And what's going on here? Like, okay, so tonight, look, it's so wild. It's like the 100th monkey effect. It's like all at the same time, all the flat earthers have decided, you know what? These fucking idiots are irrelevant, man. We're not even going to give them the attention. So that's what they're used to doing. That's what they've gotten used to doing, is garnishing views by going on debates with flat earthers, you know, and reaffirming the comfort of a globe, I guess, to these NPCs out there. Well, it's wild. Since this happened, I saw that MC Toon was doing a debate with somebody that I'd never even heard of regarding the moon landings on Modern Day Debate. And for a platform that big to only have like 150 people watching it at one time was disconcerting, man. I was like, ooh, nobody's paying any fucking attention to you anymore, Toon. That sucks, you know? And I halfway wonder, since it's a guy that I had never even heard about, if and I know that I've seen them do this before, they'll put a stooge up posing as a flat earther or as a moon landing denier, and then go in there and make them look completely stupid when the guy that's on the opposition was working for his team the whole time in the first place. I've seen that happen well more than once. So I'm often suspicious if it's somebody that I've never seen before, that their material's not out there. You know, usually some of the biggest of the flat earthers, and you know, you've at least heard something out of them, that you can go to their YouTube channel or whatever and find a lot of their content. But this guy that was on air, I'm not familiar with who he was at all, but I thought it was low viewership for the amount of subscribers that the guy has.
God damn, that was some good Taco Bell.
I bet it was. I'm about to go in here and nuke me a thing here in just a second. It's not hard to do.
In the space station, on your space station microwave?
On my space station microwave. I should just get something Wong to do it for me. But all he does is just sit back there and smile like that. It's kind of creepy, really. He's just like that all the time, all day.
Oh, yeah. He must like your butt.
He does. Well, I mean, crap. Jeez. Holy cow, guys. But, yeah, I think that's funny. I also saw another one. I saw Craig had put out a video. I didn't watch it or anything, but I looked, and he's got a really huge subscriber count. And he didn't have but like just under 2,000 views on his video, and it had been up several hours. And I forget, let me see, what is his sub count? Let me see if I can find that.
I just rolled past 3,000 not too long ago.
Let's see. See if I can find out what's his sub count. Yeah, he's got almost 55,000 subscribers, 54.8 thousand subscribers.
Yeah, pretty good.
And let me see, where was that last video he just put out? Where'd that go to? Yeah, he's only got 4.3 thousand views on his last video. I don't understand. That's a really out of whack ratio. It's been up 7 hours too.
I don't know. I mean, what's the percentage? 4,000 out of 50,000?
It's less than out of
50. 2%.
It's like, hold on, it's about 8. It's under 10%, about 8%. 8% of his subscriber count and view count. I think this shit.
I mean, the last video that I uploaded is sitting at 4% of my subs. The views are at 4% of my subs. Sometimes you just don't hit the whatever it is, your title of the algorithm, you know, the way.
Yeah,
I don't know how all the magic works, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm sitting at close to hovering around close to 50%. You know, because I usually I'm averaging about 1,000 views per live stream or video, and I've got just over 2,000 subscribers, so it's kind of balancing out that way. That's
Flatzoid needs 4 subs to hit.
yeah. If you're not subscribed to Flat
Surely
Soy, you're starting a robot on
people
me.
watching out of the.
Oh, this was a cool thing I found. Wanted to show you this. This is the CDC admits under oath that fluoride interferes with the functions of the brain and body. Oh my God, I thought that was just a conspiracy, right?
Interferes with what?
With the functions of the brain and the body.
Nice.
Let's see what
Drop that link backstage for me too.
Okay. Hang on, I'll grab it after I play it. It's only like just a minute long. So
CDC agrees with NRC that it is apparent that fluorides have the ability to interfere with the functions of the brain and the body by direct and indirect means.
Yes, CDC in connection with the Intergovernmental Work Group.
It's correct to say that CDC does not have any data on the tolerable upper fluoride intake for neurotoxic effects for infants.
Yes.
Okay. And you see how the definition also includes toddlers.
Mm-hmm.
So CDC does not have any data on the tolerable upper fluoride intake for neurotoxic effects on toddlers.
That's true.
Okay. There's been 2 studies now from the Dr. Who's birth cohort in Mexico City, and there's been 2 studies from the Canadian cohort that Dr. Lanphier has been working on. All 4 of these studies have found significant and large associations between early life fluoride exposure and adverse neurodevelopmental effect. CDC agrees with NRC that it is a.
So remember that when you see infant water with fluoride for sale at the your local Walmart or grocery store. So this is the thing about that. If it's supposedly for your teeth, why are you marketing it for a group of people that don't have any fucking teeth?
I can't believe I've never asked that question. Like, that's
So,
good fucking point.
yeah.
That's so obvious. I'm kind of embarrassed. I've never wondered that before.
I mean, that was the first thing I was like, looking at that. I was like, well, they don't even have any fucking teeth. Why are you putting fluoride in it? You know, it's not good. Was that supposed to be good for you? What does it store up for when your teeth start coming out or something? What the fuck is going on here? So yeah, let me get the link to that. Let me see. That's from somebody called Red Pill Drifter.
Dr. D Head, you know you've come on my panels. Pause. You've joined my panels. Why are you asking me silly questions?
Who is doing that? Dr. D.
Dr. D Head. He's like, can I come play? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You do. He does. And now, every now and then, I will have to, throw the block on Dr. D Head just for a short period of time because he likes to drop N-bombs.
Oh God, this is terrible. No, I'll probably get a copyright strike for that. Let me just see what it is real quick. I'm not still sharing, am I?
No.
I'm just gonna remove. There I am. Okay. I just want to see if this is because it's probably the song. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, it is. I'd probably get a copyright strike for it, but you get the idea. This is funny. I'm going to give you all the link to this. This is hilarious as hell. I can already tell. This is fucking beautiful.
Yes, nerd bombs.
Yeah, Wow. Yeah. People are so creative. I love it.
Yeah, especially the word trees, right? In, enter, E, enter, R, enter, D, enter. Like, good fucking Lord, man.
You know, because I'm sitting here going like this with Trump, right? Why does he come in dancing like that to like the gay anthem of YMCA? Does he even know what that song is about?
I love you too, Dr. D Head. What is the song about? I don't even know if I know.
YMCA, it's about,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's fucking gay is what it is. And this dude comes dancing to that, everyone, and all his supporters are like, yeah. And this guy comes out doing the whole gay dance with the thing. And I'm like, oh my God. What are you doing, Donnie? What are you doing to everybody? But they'll do whatever. That dude could start wearing a fucking plunger on his head, and other people would start doing it too. You know, I swear that's how bad.
The Trump love is crazy.
It's sick. Trump
Like you
syndrome.
guys realize that he's a controlled opposition and he lured people into January 6th and then didn't pardon them.
Yes, and then he actually said those people were traitors. I mean, this guy, and people still love him. They love him. You know, I mean, and people are so goddamn ignorant of everything going on in the world, and how it actually works. You heard these people, they're crying about those people are being denied their constitutional rights. Dude, they weren't in the United States. Okay, they're not locked up in the United States. They're locked up in the District of Columbia. That's not part of the United States. They don't have to go by that other shit. District of Columbia is not included. It's not a ratifying signature on the Constitution.
Yeah, and
it's a city state. It's its
Yeah.
own. It's its own fucking place. It's not part of the United States at all. People don't get
Indeed.
that little 10 by 10 autocratic territory.
I hate DC.
I do too, man. Every time I go to that city, I get the fucking heebie-jeebies. I hate it.
I've only been there once, and I think that's all I'll go there.
Mm.
I had a friend who's into the woo-woo. She pulled somehow you can do a birth chart and cross it with like a location, and she basically said, "Yeah, me and DC don't get along."
That place, if you look at it from the air, it's just a big fucking Ouija board, man. I mean, it's amazing. You get lost in that city and you're gonna get fucked up, man, because there's all these obtuse angles of roads and shit. You make a right turn on a road that goes like to the right and behind you, you know? I mean, it's ridiculous. Also that they can have their little pentagrams and shit drawn out on the ground. Sitting right over an important ley line. I mean, it's a juncture of two ley lines. That's
Rick. I think that RFK Jr. is also clear controlled opposition. He's a Kennedy first of all.
But what about
RFK Jr.
brain worm?
Who?
The brain worm. Didn't you hear about him having a worm? A literal
No,
worm?
I don't pay attention to shit really.
Dude,
I did not hear about that. I did know that he required people to be shot up to get into one of his parties. Back in,
be shot up. What do you mean?
With the jab, get the poke.
Oh. Let me see. What's this? Let me see if I can find anything on Twitter about it. RFK brain eating worm. Search for RFK brain eating worm. Yeah, because brain wasn't enough. Okay, yeah. See, this is a real thing. Because a brain-eating worm wasn't enough, RFK Jr. is now gone with full-term abortion is okay. He's trying to say that they've diagnosed that there was a worm eating his brain that they got out of his brain or something. Let me see. Yeah. Let me just see if this is it.
bad
But
things.
so to leave, so in other words, keeping it as is with Roe versus Wade having been overturned and leaving it up to the states to determine if and when a woman can have an abortion?
No, I wouldn't leave it to the states.
You wouldn't, right?
No, I would.
You would say completely. It's up to the
my
woman.
belief is we should leave it to the woman. We shouldn't have government involved.
You know what, man? His sister talks like that too. That ain't no shit, man.
Even if it's full term.
Even if it's full term.
Okay, and I think
bad things.
But so to
That's not about the brain-eating worm. Let me just see if I can find something on it. I thought it would be. I saw it in the beginning where they show you the video and he was grabbing on his head. So he just thought he was explaining where it was. So let me see where there was all over the place talking about that. Oh yeah, here was from a newspaper article. Just a second. It said that see, RFK Jr.'s brainworm has a Talmudic history and maybe a court. Yeah, some other leader had a brain bug too. Titus, he had a parasite in his brain as well. So there you go. Brain-eating worms.
There you have it.
Brain-eating fucking worms. What in the hell else is they going to come up with next? The worm died after it ate part of my brain. Wait a second. Is this an X-ray? Crazy to see the general population freak out about the brain-eating worm that RFK acquired. Most of the time, this is a pork tapeworm from eating undercooked pork or dirty water. Some of them get very bad. Yeah, here's some of them in somebody's brain, I guess. They don't look like worms to me, I don't think. What do you think?
Hold on a second. I'm on a different tab. They look like snails.
And probably an evolutionary link between snails and worms. Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket. That's what it is. We'll just make shit up. Why not? Yeah, so I don't know. I think maybe he was trying to blame some kind of a flip-flop on having a brain-eating worm. I
mean, that's a good excuse.
It is. I'm tucking that one away. You know, I might need that someday. Why not?
It doesn't hurt to have it handy.
No, hell no. Just say, you know, all of a sudden that's what it was. I had a brain-eating worm that made me put my dick in that other woman.
I wonder if it'll work in court.
Yes. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was under the influence of a brain-eating worm.
Tuck this one away, Canadians, if they try to hit you with that retroactive hate speech thing.
Yeah, tell them you hadn't had your brainworm vaccination yet, and that you're thankful that you were provided a brainworm vaccination by the Canadian government. And
that was nice of them.
All hail Trudeau. Oh my God. Yeah, that guy's just got some serious balls. But that just shows you what happens when you have a tyrant and a disarmed populace.
Indeed.
Start running that shit here. I don't know. How much do you think the people will put up with? Did you hear my
a lot?
I
think the people will put up with a lot. I think people are late, and I don't think they'll get the civil war that they want so bad because I think Americans are actually just too lazy.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Listen, and I'm wondering, I'm balancing that out too. Think about this. So as it looks, right, Biden is just a bumbling fuck up, right? And everything is terrible. Whatever he does is fucked up, blah, 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 blah. He's lost a lot of support, any that he might have had. And Trump is the confident winner of the next election. There's no problem, blah, blah, blah. Isn't that exactly what people thought the last time? And let's keep in mind, they've not done anything about the voting machines. Okay. They haven't done anything about mail-in ballots. Okay. We're going
Well,
into
voting doesn't matter anyway.
now with that expectation and it being blatantly obvious that at the last time by this guy getting 81 million votes, a record more than any other president in U.S. history. So it was blatantly obvious that there was something rotten in Denmark. What's to stop them from just doing that again? And
I mean, I don't think
actually, would that spark the civil war that they're looking for?
No.
I mean, what if it's just overwhelming support for Trump? Nothing. Biden, but Biden ends up with a record number of votes again. What do you think would go down? Do you think the people would stand for it again? I mean,
yeah,
you do?
I do. Yeah, I think people are lazy and comfortable, and if anything will get people to move, it'll be the people have to be uncomfortable personally. They can't just be outraged about something that they see happening, but to get somebody to move out of their comfort zone, yeah, I absolutely think that be like, oh well, blah blah blah, you know, like not oh well. I'm sure there would be lots of internet bitching, lots of pry it from my cold dead hands, lots of that talk, but you know. I'm pretty jaded on people's balls.
Mm-hmm.
I think we Americans like to talk like we're something, but at the end of the day, you know.
Yeah, at the
end of the day, how many people were there standing up for the J6 defendants, right?
Right. Well, there again, I saw that whole thing as a psyop anyway.
It was absolutely.
Was there really any J6 defendants?
There were. So I was a Proud Boy at that time.
Think about this.
And
do you remember?
I didn't.
Who is it? Remember that guy, Eric?
Eric. Yeah.
Okay. He was pictured with the shaman in the MAGA shaman or whatever in the Capitol building there with the flag and everything. And I mean, that whole thing. That's why I said,
I don't know.
How come that motherfucker wasn't in prison? He came on my panel while all those people were in the jail. How did he not be in jail with the rest of them? He was right there.
That is a damn good question.
Right next to that Q shaman guy, right?
Well, like I said, I was a Proud Boy at the time, and I didn't go to January 6th because I could smell it in the air, the trap.
I saw.
But every single person from my chapter who went got arrested, except for the one guy who drove most of them there, who was a Fed.
Of course. So what happened? Did they ever get out, or are they still there? Or
yeah, I mean, at this point, most of them are out. There's one of them, and I helped his old lady move out of the house when he was in jail because you can't make your payments when you're in jail.
Right.
He got a year. I think he's still in, but he's about to get out. But he was so conspicuous that it's no surprise he got a little more time than what was served, because he fucking he was like 6'4", wearing a vest, a tactical vest, and carrying around a flag attached to an axe handle. That was a costly LARP for him.
I got you. Yeah, because I'll tell you, man, some of this shit, I looked at that, I saw that as a setup as it was, and I was like, wait a minute. What is actually going on here? I mean, it was so blatant that they were wanting something to go down to distract from that certification of the votes. And that's why they had that even go down. And yeah, I think Trump was behind it as well. Absolutely.
I mean, everybody was there because he invited everybody.
Yep. Now, on the same token,
what I observed from any of the video that I've seen of it, I did not see what could be classified as an insurrection.
Well, nobody was ever charged with that, I don't believe.
You know, what I saw, well, that's what the media is all talking all the time.
Right.
Insurrection, right? What I saw was an unguided tour of the Capitol building.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I literally saw people straighten shit up.
Yeah.
You know? So it was like, you know, so like here's a fucking stanchions with the little ropes, right? And the thing's out of whack, and there's somebody moves it back to where it's supposed to be and shit. Now, somebody taking the speaker's lectern, I don't think that's a good idea. You know,
Yeah.
Then you're
for it there.
theft and vandalism and shit like that.
Taking pictures in Pelosi's office.
I don't see anything wrong with that. Taking pictures.
But it's not a what. You know, if you're doing a photo op in the speaker's office, you're gonna hear about it later.
Well, yeah. So what? It's ours. Who the fuck you think pays for it?
Yeah, right. I mean, you know that line of that's never worked with a cop. It's not going to work with Nancy Pelosi.
Yes, it has worked with.
Oh, bullshit!
Yeah,
I call bullshit. You have never seen somebody tell a cop, "I pay your salary," and the cop go, "Oh, you know what? You're right.
I pay your salary." I'm not talking about the salary. I'm talking about the building itself, the actual room that public servant does their work in. Are you allowed to take a picture of the inside of a cop car? Can you take a picture of a cop inside their car? That's their office. Of course you can.
I don't know, but if I try to take a cop car for a spin, because I paid for it, I bet that I'm going to have a hard time later.
You can't just roll up and sit in one. But yeah, actually, you kind of can, I think.
You can. You just got to piss them off.
Yeah. They get real touchy about it. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, they don't like people trying to sneak into the squad car.
No. But there again, you know, if yeah, I don't know as it was of course I'm kind of jaded too because of my own opinion of Nancy Pelosi. I know she's not just a crooked politician, she's an evil motherfucking witch, and I mean that literally.
I'm not opposed to that claim.
You know, I mean, wow. Deceitful. She's always been. You know, her dad was a mafia guy.
No.
Yeah. What was his? I forget what his name was.
What, like during Prohibition? She was pretty fucking old.
See, okay, so well, in the 50s and 60s, yeah. Yeah, in the 50s and 60s, man, there was mob activities in the 60s and 50s was pretty hot. It was going on, gambling, girls, narcotics.
Yeah. Well, when I was a baby, because you know, Kansas City during the 80s is when like casino was set and stuff.
Right.
My parents lived in a mob-owned apartment complex and said there was no crime there at all.
Of course not. Nobody would dare. You know, because they're going to do a better job of finding you than the cops are ever going to do. They're, you know, that's for real. Yeah, I can dig that. But you know, no, her dad was in with organized crime. Now, her sister is who took over when Cuomo stepped down. Okay, so that Hochul woman, that's Nancy Pelosi's fucking half sister. They both have the same dad. That crazy.
It's a small world.
And she's an evil fucking bitch too, boy. Man.
My favorite was when somebody took a shit in her driveway.
I remember that, yeah. What about the guy that supposedly beat Paul Pelosi in the head with a hammer?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
I got put in Facebook jail for putting up memes about that.
Did you really? I broke it down on here one night, and we watched the footage, the body cam footage, you know, in slow-mo. And you can see that that was completely staged. There was even a fucking chalk line, like set marker on the fucking ground. You can see it right by where the Pelosi dude was laying.
I mean, it was insane. And none of it was fucking real. It was crazy. And so I don't even know what the fuck was behind that shit. That
I
was
think
really
they have these politicians on, got to keep them in check. Or need to remind that
your robot. No,
you
yeah, you're starting to cut out on us, robot. But that's all right. I'm ready to shut her down. It's 3 hours. That's good enough for me tonight. That's all I need. I'm not doing the marathon shit here recently. Just kind of getting in, doing some good stuff, and then getting out. You got anything, any shows coming up or anything that you want to let people?
There's about a 50-50 chance I'll go live here in a little bit.
All right. Well,
I haven't decided if I want to commit to it yet, but it's looking more likely than not.
Head on over to Flow State's channel, and make sure you're subscribed and belled up to that one so that if he does go live, you'll be notified. Take the chat party over there. Maybe go up on the stream. He gets some wild ones. Do you ever see any of the old like Snafu or
Snafu is probably the only person who is full on banned from my channel permanently.
No.
He because he runs around and he reports channels. He's a channel striker, and I just that sort of behavior is something nobody wants anywhere. I don't think. You would think so. Yeah, no, I got nothing to do with that dude at all.
Who's that other one?
He's
what about
Monograph is the one that he's all mad about. Monograph does come on from time to time.
What about Tommy? Illuma Tommy.
Tommy comes on from time to time too. He was down in the chat today.
Oh my god.
Just now during yours.
No
but
way.
Yeah, I see Tommy from time to time.
He's a crazy motherfucker. All right.
Yes,
so Flow might be going live. Flow State might be going live here later on in a little while if the good spirit moves in to do so. I just want to say, everybody, have a good night. We're going to see you next time on Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. Don't forget, the Lord loves the working man. Don't trust Whitey, and see a doctor and get rid of his ass because he'll probably kill you. So good night, everybody. And we'll see you next time on Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. Say good night, Something Wong. Yeah, that's all he does is fucking smile. All right, guys. Good night.